No, it sends an automatic prompt.
Okay.
So hopefully we're live now, and we're multi-streaming again today. We did this yesterday with Cat's Cthulhu Dark Scenario Ravenous. We should be streaming now on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, although there's a little bit of delay between going live and people actually seeing us, which is why it may seem like I'm doing a lot of filler content that nobody cares about right now. I'm kind of waiting for people to filter in. But today we are playing Call of Cthulhu. So we did Cthulhu Dark yesterday. We're back to kind of our core game, Call of Cthulhu today. And we have a lot of good players. I'm playing too, but we do have good players today. And we also have a brand new Keeper of Arcane Lore. Not going to be new to the streams by any means, but Rina is keeping for us for the first time ever. So thank you, Keeper Rina, for agreeing to do this today.
Happy to do it.
She's been threatening us for 3 weeks as we've started to talk about this scenario. And so Rina's the Keeper of Arcane Lore. We're playing Necropolis, which is from Gateways to Terror, I believe. Mm-hmm. which is a nice compilation of one-shots from Chaosium. And for players today, we have Wes Davis as Dr. Illinois Jones, Kat as Lady Pamela, Chuck as Sergeant McCoy, and I'll be playing Dr. Thomas Baker. So thank you for joining us on the stream. I believe we'll be able to see your chat comments no matter where you're watching us. So YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, we kind of get a little icon to show us where the comment's coming from. And after I die, I'll try to interact with the chat quite a lot. But I'll also kind of just keep an eye on it. And I can kind of highlight things. So say fun things, and then the players will see these things too. And we'll roll like that. So this is about 3 hours, I think, Rina. Mm-hmm. So we're going to play this in a single session. So plan to be with us for 3 hours if you can. If you can't watch the whole thing, you can always catch it on demand on Twitch for about 60 days. And I think YouTube and Facebook have permanence. So it'll never go away because I won't remember to delete them. And of course, everything lives forever on Patreon, which I'm always happy to plug. So join us at patreon.com/ain'tslayed. We are also launching our delayed Jeremiah prequel featuring Wes Davis. It was going to launch at the beginning of March. Texas things happened, and now it's going to be the end of March. And Rina and I are players in a campaign by Scott Dorward, along with Graham Patrick as our other fellow player. We're going to play World War Cthulhu London on Patreon starting in April. We've already recorded the first session. It was blew my expectations out of the water in terms of escalation. So I think you'll have a lot of fun with that. So patreon.com/ain'tslayed. And then let's just go around the horn first, and then I'll kick it back over to you, Rina, for to run us into our graves. So Rina Haenze, what are you working on? Why did you agree to keep today?
Hey, y'all. I'm Rina. You know me from most of the streams, all of them except Alien. And since Alien has mysteriously disappeared, I now have a 100% success rate on streams.
Very mysterious.
I really love running Call of Cthulhu, and this is one of my favorite games to run. I've run it a bajillion times, so I'm very excited to put this group through it and probably murder everybody. So you can find me on Twitter. Just put my username up on the banner very helpfully. You can also find me on Discord, and you can find me on the Old Ways podcast in the Horror on the Orient Express campaign as Lady Elizabeth Fitzroy. You can also find me on the First Watch podcast's upcoming Random Heist arc. It's a D&D podcast. They're really fun. Check that out. And in the very near future, you will hear me on the World War Cthulhu campaign for the Patreon on Ain't Slayed, and also on season 2 of Ain't Slayed Nobody. So I'll be coming to the Old West. It's going to be great. Murderous shenanigans and fire incoming.
Cup, are you controlling the little subtitles on there?
It's going to annoy the hell out of everyone. Yes.
I'm picturing you like one of those people driving down the road and has the little programmable thing on the back of the truck to say messages to the people behind you.
Yes. I'm a child with a new toy, so I apologize in advance.
But you're not sorry at all.
No, I'm not. Not really. I say it a lot, but I'm not sorry, obviously. Yeah. Very good. Thank you, Rina. Rina's working on so many cool things, and I imagine they'll just keep piling up. So come back to all the streams to find out what she's working on next. And we'll see how she treats us today in terms of how many future streams she'll be working on with us. Wes Davis, what are you working on?
A master's degree, mostly.
Okay. Kat.
I actually am recording another episode of Dr. Fix Me later tonight. And if you like improv comedy and you listen to stuff like Comedy Bang Bang, this is a very similar vein where this guy hosts a TV style talk show where somebody comes on with a problem. The problem is preset. Every other character doesn't know who they're about to be. And I'm first on tonight, so it'll be fun, but it doesn't stream. So you can go listen to a few of those. And I don't know. We did what did we play last week? You, me, and Chuck and Rina. What did we play?
No idea.
Miss Dews.
Go watch that one. That was fun. And if you ever need therapy in 2 years, hit me up. There you go.
Patreon.com/Wes.
Patreon.com/Wes. I will not be taking insurance.
Very good. All right. Thank you, Wes. Next, Kat, what are you working on? I think I've got all your banners situated after yesterday. So let us know what you're up to.
Sure. My name's Kat. I am a art streamer, streaming traditional art and ink artwork, a switch between horror and fantasy. So if you want to come and watch me, I'm on a Tuesday and a Thursday at 7 o'clock UK time, and that's at www.twitch.tv Catherine Jenkins Art. So come and have a look if you fancy. We just have a chat and a chill. So,
and that's 1 p.m. in God's time zone.
Yes.
And if you live in Texas, Central Time, or 2 p.m. East Coast. And then, Kat, you're also on Instagram. This is your Instagram handle. I made these, so I'm going to show them. I don't fucking.
No, go for it. I am also on Instagram.
Kat's also on Twitter, believe it or not. So
although
Kat
I
has
don't
different
know
handles everywhere.
Twitter. I don't understand Twitter. I don't know.
Let's get rid of that. Yeah.
I go on it and I'm like, how do you even what?
Well, what you do is you follow me and Wes, and then whatever we're doing, do the opposite of that.
Oh, I see.
What Chuck said. Exactly that.
Perfect. So yeah, Instagram and Twitch are probably the best places then to follow Kat. And of course, we're joined also today by Chuck.
Heyo.
What you got going on, Chuck?
Not much. You know that.
Yeah, thought I'd ask.
Yeah, I play Johnny on the main Ain't Slayed Nobody arc, as well as any number of characters that have died in a lot of these small one-offs. Beyond that, I don't have much. We have an F1 podcast at FNG1. Come check it out. We don't know anything about F1. It's fun.
I don't have a banner. I'm such an asshole.
Yeah,
okay.
I wouldn't expect that you would. We don't have a banner, and we do the podcast.
We
don't have cover art.
Wait a minute, FNG1 podcast.
Hey, there you go.
How you write
nice
it?
improv.
Okay.
I like it.
Yeah. So follow all those podcasts that we've mentioned. And of course, I'm just plugging what we do here all the time. So Ain't Slayed Nobody. It would be nice if you're on Twitch, follow us on YouTube and Facebook. If you're on Facebook, follow us on YouTube and Twitch. And if you're on YouTube, I'm so confused right now. Follow us on Twitch and Facebook. I don't know. There's like something to this multiverse of streaming that will help us if we have tons of followers everywhere. And of course, I can't resist another opportunity to throw up our Patreon, patreon.com/ain'tslayed. Chuck's disappointed. All right. So I've talked enough. Rina's probably ready to kill me. So let's throw it to Rina. Rina, do you want to start with content warnings?
Hey, I start with a gun, right?
I don't know this scenario, so let us know what to expect in terms of like heebie-jeebies and stuff.
Yes. So content warnings for this particular scenario. Obviously, this is Call of Cthulhu. So there will be a lot of horror and madness and other nonsense. So if you're here, you probably are aware of that. More specifically, there will be body horror and a good bit of it. So more or less.
I think
there's not really much else. There's not really much else in the way of content warnings that I can think of. But for the players, if something comes up that you can't deal with, or that you would like to move away from, just do the physical X card. We'll redirect things and get away from it. But there will be no child endangerment in this particular game, which
because Scott Dorward is not here.
Because Scott Dorward is not on this show.
Isn't that a player decision?
Darn
Really?
The
so
scenario was
the orphans. Curses.
well, this scenario was not is not involving Scott in any way, shape, or form. So there's no child endangerment. So there shouldn't be anything else content-wise that I can think of. But again, we'll keep an eye out, and if something does happen, please just let me know. We'll redirect from that. But otherwise, be prepared for horror, madness, insanity, violence. Probably player versus player. This is Ain't Slayed Nobody, but we'll see how that goes. So
profanity. Did you say there's gonna be lots of profanity? So if you're on Facebook, you might not be ready.
Lots and lots of profanity. Knowing us, probably a lot of really bad puns and jokes, and probably also some not safe for work humor. Although I'm not a player, and so I probably won't be making that many of those kinds of jokes. But
okay, good.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Wes. So. Just be aware of that, okay? All right. So, are we ready to begin?
I think so. Lovely.
All right.
Indeed.
So I will introduce the scenario, the setting, and then we'll go around. You can introduce your characters, and then we'll get right into the game, okay?
Perfect.
So it is November of 1923. Egyptology is all the rage right now in America and in the UK because of Howard Carter's discovery of the tomb of Tutankhamun. And so everyone and their grandmother is out in Egypt looking for lost tombs and digging for treasure and looking for things that they can pilfer and take back to museums or for their private collections. And so your particular dig team is out in the middle of nowhere outside of Cairo. You found a patch of desert that has been undug up by other dig teams because you've heard rumors of a lost tomb or temple. You're not sure which, but you heard rumors about this out in this patch of the desert. So you hired a local dig team and you convinced them to take you out there. And you've been digging out there for a couple months now without finding anything. It's been getting a little frustrating. Maybe tensions are a bit high. Because you'll have to go back soon to replenish your stocks, and maybe some of you are getting a little tired of all the sand. But you're hoping that you'll find something and something soon. And you've started to hear some chattering among your local dig team. You don't understand their native dialect, but they seem very excited about something. So that's where we're going to pick up. So if you would like to introduce your characters, we'll start with you, Cup. I
put myself last in the order so that I would go last. I don't like sand. Okay, so I'm Dr. Thomas Baker, and I'm a slight man with round-rimmed glasses and a bit of an overbite. My smooth hands would make you think that I've never worked a day of hard labor in my life, but I'm very excited to be here on the dig team. Of course, I'm wearing a mismatched suit with elbow patches. I am an expert in the field of languages, so I can read hieroglyphics forward and backward. I know German, I know French, fluent in those. Sadly, despite my career at Oxford, I haven't really accumulated much field experience. So they keep giving these dig jobs to all of my younger colleagues who are less qualified. So very happy to be here with the dig team so that I can finally write my book. I'm looking forward to some popular press. So that's it. Dr. Thomas Baker. Call me doctor, please.
Well, welcome, Dr. Baker. What about you, Kat?
My name, quite frankly, is probably the most important of the groups. Naturally, I'm funding this. Just saying, I own all of you briefly for this extended period. My name is Lady Pamela Lethbridge Stewart. I would prefer it if you did refer to me by my full title. However, I know that sometimes the brain cannot necessarily hold that amount of syllables. So Lady Pamela will do for the more simple of you. Now, we have been here for a while. I'm starting to get fed up with quite the amount of sand. I don't understand what's going on. It's incredibly hot. I didn't realize how hot it would be. My corgi has almost expired. I'm fed up. So the quicker we can get this business done with, the quicker you'll get your bonuses. Is that all right?
What's your corgi's name?
Sebastian.
Okay, Sebastian the corgi. All right, thank you. And Wes.
Hi there. I'm Dr. Illinois Jones. I've been an archaeologist for quite a while, and my career's not been that successful. I'm a short but rotund man. I'm a medium-sized individual in the point category, so I'm very small in stature, but I'm more of a round individual. I'm the aging is showing on my face because of all the sun and the digs and the stress from the job is building. And I wanted the adventurous life, but it's never really been what I thought it would be. It's not glamorous. I haven't really found anything of note. I thought I found a magnificent fossil in ruins before, but they turned out to just be, mass hunting graves. And one time my archaeology crew pulled a prank on me, and I thought I found a fossil, but it turned out to be a big plaster of Paris model that fell apart in front of the board at the university. I've been embarrassed for a really long time. I wear my dad's old battered hat on my head because he was a big archaeologist, and I want to live up to his expectations, but it's now just starting to feel like a big, heavy burden. It reminds me of this legacy that I just have not fulfilled, and I don't fight well. I'm kind of a wuss. I just want to have one big find, and this is going to be it for me. This is going to make hay, and we're going to go back home and live that ritzy lifestyle. Thanks, Egypt.
All right, thank you, Dr. Jones.
You're
Are
welcome.
you okay, Dr. Jones?
No.
And what about you, Chuck?
Yeah, I'll be playing Sergeant McCoy. His real name is Jeffrey McCoy, but I don't think anyone at this dig site knows that name. He just goes by McCoy. He's been here in the desert ever since the end of the war. He tells people he was discharged, but probably if you asked his superiors, he probably walked out on the job. He was done with all of that and had no interest in coming back home. So he's been working out here in the desert, supporting crews like this. It's decent money. It keeps him in whiskey. And it's kind of funny to watch all of these posh people in Poindexters try to make it out here. He's got the survival skills and the instincts, but he's not particularly interested in all these people. He's just looking for a paying job and maybe an opportunity to dip his beak if there's any profits.
Did he say that out loud?
He said that in that internal monologue style where it looks like he's moving his mouth, but you can't hear anything.
Okay, we saw it on your face, though.
Uh-huh.
The real question is, how does Sergeant McCoy feel about Sebastian the corgi?
Actually, it's his favorite member of the party. The only one, he's like, if it just comes down to you and I, that's fine.
That makes total sense.
Take Dr. Jones' hat and put it on the corgi, and
then they will wander off into the desert together to have many adventures.
I
For the
will
record-
die first, and that will happen.
Dr. Baker's favorite member is Sebastian as well.
Lady Pamela's favourite member is Sebastian. She would also murder you all to ensure that dog survived.
Oh,
After all,
lovely.
the dog is probably worth more than all of you combined.
As Rina is busily rewriting the scenario to where the big bad is actually the corgi.
The corgi.
Corgi's
Corgi-
eyes turn red. And
Corgi
starts speaking.
possession.
Sebastian, no!
I will tell you who the good boy is.
Elder One Corgi.
The Elder Korg. The Elder Korg.
The Corgi scrolls.
There we go. All right. So, you are all sitting around the campfire. It is evening. You're having dinner. And during the day this afternoon, your head of security came to you. So that would be Sergeant Mccoy here, along with Abdul, who is the dig chief, the crew chief, to inform you that they found something in the desert when they were digging this afternoon. They found a stone slab beneath the sand, and they think there might be something there. And so they've come to you with this exciting news. You sat down to talk about your plans for opening it and excavating it the next day. Sergeant Mccoy, the posh folks, had you sit with them for some whiskey to talk about plans for organizing security for going in. And you're all just sitting around talking. Sebastian the corgi is licking your hand, Lady Pamela, and
you're gonna have to update us with the corgi's location at all times.
At all times,
constantly.
Yes.
So we need a corgi ticker at the bottom cup.
So Sebastian is licking your hand and yipping excitedly because he can sense the mood. You're all feeling excited because finally you found something. And you've broken out the good whiskey, Lady Pamela, so you're all drinking and having a good time. And you start to feel drowsy, a little sleepy.
I got a corgi ticker. Oh my God.
I'm sorry. I know you're trying to set the mood. I couldn't resist.
No, this is perfect. This is perfect.
I, for one, darlings, am absolutely thrilled that finally we found something. I mean, I wasn't depressed or anything, but I was starting to go just a little bit mad.
And as you say that, Lady Pamela, you all start to feel really drowsy, like really sleepy. Like it must just be the heat of the Egyptian night and the mosquitoes. The air is so heavy, but you're just so very tired. And the next thing you know, you're waking up in complete, utter, total darkness. You can't see anything. You feel hard stone beneath you. It is cold. The air feels a little thin. You have no idea where you are, how you got there, or what time it is. What do you do?
I'm going to kind of sort of reach out in the darkness to try and feel for somebody else.
You stick your hand out to the right, Lady Pamela, and you feel the big, beefy biceps of Sergeant Mccoy.
Oh.
Sergeant!
Ain't that always
Sergeant.
the way?
What? Is this a dream? Oh, is this a dream?
Lady Pamela, is that you?
I mean, you tell me, is this your dream?
It's not my dream.
Oh, if Thomas is here, then no. Where am I? What's going on? What is this, a prank of some kind?
Hey guys, what? How did we get here? What's going on?
The campsite must have collapsed with all the digging. We've made the ground unstable.
Can we all hear each other?
Yes, you can all hear each other. You're very close together.
You guys aren't fucking with me again, are you?
No.
Excuse me, Dr. Jones. I can assure you that
Pam.
nobody is fucking with you.
See, you said it. It's not that
I mean,
bad.
none of us remembers what happened last night, is all I'm saying.
Where?
So someone could have been fucking with you. It's
I'm
highly
just
unlikely.
Sebastian.
Well, I'm not sore, so that's a good sign.
Mhm.
What?
Does anyone have a torch? I have an inventory somewhere.
Does anyone know where the dog is?
Yes.
That's a good question. Why don't you give me a
Sebastian?
listen roll, Lady Pamela?
Excellent.
And you
Yes.
get the bonus die because you're listening for your specific dog.
Oh, don't kill the dog this early, Rina, please.
We're gonna lose the whole stream if you kill it.
Okay, I just need to.
I did not put a content warning for animal death, so you're fine.
That doesn't mean you're not gonna do it. Like, come on.
Ooh, I got under half.
Okay, hard success. All right, so behind you, because you're kind of laying flat on the ground, Lady Pamela. So from somewhere behind you, very far away, you hear a yip, 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 yip. And it sounds very sad.
Sebastian, I'm gonna kind of reach into my bag. I'm gonna remember that I have a box of matches, and I'm gonna strike a match up in the and look in the direction of the corgi.
Okay, so you strike a match. You can see that Sergeant McCoy is kind of sitting down next to you. He's sort of pulled himself up to a seated position. In front of you, still kind of looking around, trying to struggle up, are Dr. Baker and Dr. Jones. And all the way down ahead of you is just long, endless dark. You can't see anything. And you turn around in the direction of the dog, and you just see a massive stone slab. There is a huge stone slab covered in strange symbols behind you. And Sebastian is his sounds, his little yips are coming from behind that slab. Yip, 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 yip.
Oh, Sebastian, darling! I'm gonna get up and head over to the slab and start kind of seeing if, like, going around the sides of it to see if it can be moved at all, or with my little match. Like,
yes, one little match. So while Lady Pamela is examining the stone slab to try to get to her dog, what are the rest of you doing?
McCoy has pulled out his cigarette lighter and has lit it and is trying to find something in there that he can light like a torch, because his lighter has only got so much fuel in it. Is he seeing anything that he could, like a bone with a cloth in it, an old stick, whatever? I mean, you tell me what my surroundings are.
Okay. Give me a luck roll.
Let's do that. It's now would be a good time to mention that Sergeant McCoy, not a lucky man.
Not so much.
Good job.
Wait, what's your luck, Sergeant?
Is it less than 50?
It's definitely less than 50.
Okay, so Sergeant, on the fumble, you're looking around with your cigarette lighter, and not only do you not see anything flammable other than what you're wearing, but the light with your cigarette lighter sputters, fizzles, and goes out.
I thought so. I had a feeling that might be the case.
Dr. Baker, watching this failure happen from Sergeant McCoy, is going to try to light one of his candles. So I have candles and matches in my inventory. So I'd like to light a candle and then head over toward Lady Pamela, because I don't want her to discover the treasure or whatever, the mystery, before I do.
McCoy will light his cigarette off of that candle as he walks by.
I'm not going to be able to stop that. I imagine.
No, you are absolutely not going to stop that.
All right, so Sergeant McCoy, you have a lit cigarette now. Dr. Baker, you have a lit candle. Dr. Jones, you can see this from all these flickering lights now. What would you like to do?
So I can see the tablet and the writing on it.
It's not a tablet, it's a slab. It is a floor to ceiling, apparently, stone slab.
What is a slab if not a giant tablet? That's
like very reaffirming. I kind of like that. That's from your self-help book, isn't it?
I'm here to help. I'm here to reframe things to make you feel better about life from a different vantage. I've got good language skills in English, but I'm guessing that's not going to help. Would my archaeology skill allow me to read a little bit of that tablet?
So you're specifically going to look at the stone slab with...
I have nothing of use in this scenario right now other than my brain. So...
Well, you do see what appears to be, in the flickering light, you do see what appears to be paintings of some kind, like really faded paintings along the wall. There's some cracks in the wall, but you see these paintings and hieroglyphs going off down the hallway. But if you'd like to look at the slab, all three of you who are looking at the slab can give me an occult roll.
Oh, an occult roll?
Am I one of the ones looking at the slab? Who are the three in question?
Dr. Baker, Lady Pamela, and Dr. Jones.
Oh, I totally failed that. I don't think I have anything. I've got a 30 occult, and I rolled a 72. So, yeah, that's not great. 85's good.
I got a under half again.
Okay. So, Lady
you have like
Pamela,
95 occult?
So, Lady Pamela, with your success, You look at this stone slab. You can't find a way around it. You can't seem to move it, like find any cracks in it. But as you start looking at the symbols, you realize that these are warding symbols of some kind from multiple different languages and from multiple cultures.
It's like a choking sign.
It's just choking a hogo on it.
Yeah.
But these specific symbols are meant to either keep something out or keep something in. You're not sure which.
I will relay this to all of you, and I shall dust my hands and say, well, one of you surely, I'm not paying you just to stand around. Surely one of you knows how to read this nonsense.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, Dr.
Please.
Baker. Surely one of us knows how to read this, Dr.
Please,
Baker.
and I'm going to kind of like shoo Dr. Jones to the side and say, please, Dr. Jones, let an expert take a look at these glyphs.
Hey, listen to me here, Baker. I'm not here to take any crap from you. This is a joint operation, and I'll be here to read it as well.
Yeah, well, maybe you can work on some of the background research, but I'll do the field work here.
Okay, Baker, PhD.
McCoy is just laughing at this and cleaning his fingernails with his knife while he watches them kick around.
So I think Dr. Baker is going to hold the candle up to those hieroglyphics on the wall first as he's kind of walking toward the slab.
Mm-hmm. So are you looking at the slab or are you looking at the hieroglyphs on the wall?
I think the wall first as he walked.
Okay.
He would have been.
Would you say you're gazing at them with both eyes?
Yes, like getting the candle really close so that I can see them clearly.
Okay, so you can see what looks like a story almost. That's what it looks like going down the wall of this tunnel, annex, cave, whatever this place is. The colors are very faded, the way they are in a lot of recently discovered tombs. And as Dr. Jones noted, there's some cracks in the wall, maybe from pressure, or all the sand above it, or maybe some seismic activity, who knows. But you see some very interesting looking imagery. And I'd like you to give me a read hieroglyphs roll. To see,
is that library use? You're just fancying it up.
It is this game's version of library use.
Okay, let me. I know what's happening here. Just give me a moment. Oh yes, that is a hard. Could I use 2 luck points to make that a hard success?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna do that. Oh, I should have checked my luck before I did that. But yes,
I like how you asked that question in character.
Yes, I'm doing everything in character. It's such a sophisticated accent. I don't want to lose it. It's so high quality.
So it takes you a few minutes, Dr. Baker, because there's some hieroglyphs you've never seen before, and you kind of have to reread things a few times to figure them out in context, and you have to move kind of further down the hallway to get the full scope of what you're seeing. But this appears to be the story of a pharaoh. And you don't know the name of the pharaoh because the cartouche where his name would be inscribed has been scratched out. And you don't know anything about who this pharaoh is, but you can read kind of his story going down this long hallway or annex, whatever it is.
About his life got turned upside down.
Yes.
Right. You'd like to take a minute, just sit right there and tell you how you became the Prince of Talhun Kamen and that.
This is how Dr. Baker is communicating it exactly with that language.
In a song and dance routine. But it talks about this pharaoh who subjugated not only Egypt, but the lands around Egypt through great cruelty and through great power of some kind. You see this pharaoh standing on the skulls of what you would assume to be his enemies. And this is not an image you've ever seen before in these kinds of tomb paintings. This is a very striking image for you. And then you see many different people of different nationalities and ethnicities portrayed as laying flat on the ground in front of him. And as you move down the hallway, it almost kind of gives you the appearance of him stepping across them and crushing them as he's walking down this hallway. Just the way it's painted is so striking and vivid. But he tormented his own people as well as the people of the lands around him. And he appears to have been very powerful, if very evil. And it's a very fascinating story for you, Dr. Baker, because you've never seen anything like this. And you've never seen some of these hieroglyphs before. It's definitely a discovery for you at the very least.
Yeah, he's gonna turn around and put the candle like under his chin, not close enough to burn myself, but like give me that spooky effect with the light coming from underneath, and say, "This is wonderful. This is such a discovery, Dr. Jones. You're not gonna believe it. This is a tomb. We found a tomb. There's a great pharaoh here. He crushed his enemies. He destroyed them. He conquered nations. We're going to be in museums. We're going to have books. We're going to have lots of new manuscripts. This is wonderful. We have to get in there. We have to open the, I can't think of it as anything but a giant tablet now, but we need to get in there. The stone slab."
As you're moving down this hallway, Dr. Baker, and as you say that, you notice some shadows at the far end. So the stone tablet is now behind you, and you can see some great shadows at the end. They're not moving. It doesn't appear to be people or anything down there, but there's something down there at the far end.
It doesn't appear to be, or it is not.
Well, I mean, it's a flickering candlelight. It's hard to tell.
Okay.
Lady Pamela's eyes are going to kind of light up a bit, and she kind of wrings her hands nervously. She goes, "Indeed, Dr. Baker, a tomb, you say? A great discovery in riches, you say? No, hang on. The excitement aside, how ever did we get in here? And I don't see that we fell through the ceiling at all, but I mean, if it is a tomb that we've discovered and we are the only ones to discover it, then fantastic. But how did we get here?"
And we're seeing a flickering light down the hall.
That's from Dr. Baker's candle. So you see the shadows, which is why I said you can't tell if they're moving or not, because candlelight flickers, but it doesn't look like they're moving.
So like between us and the end of the hallway is some form of obstruction, be it person, stone, cat, or Sebastian.
Yes.
Sebastian's behind us.
You have the stone slab behind you, and that's where Sebastian's yipping is coming from. And then you've got shadows down at the other end of this really long hallway that Dr. Baker has been walking down, reading these hieroglyphs.
Dr. Jones is eagerly waddling behind Baker, trying to catch
over
up.
here. Yeah. There are other things here. Maybe they can try to get behind no, I want to get behind the slab, but maybe we should all go look down here. There's something, maybe treasure, maybe idols. I don't know. There are so many things. Lady Pamela, don't belabor the details. Don't worry about how we got here. We just need to get the treasure, get the evidence, and get out. And we're
Sergeant
fine.
McCoy, is this area secured?
I think maybe everyone ought to get behind me. Baker, can you get behind me with that candle? McCoy has drawn his handgun and is starting to slowly make his way down that hallway.
Okay. So
Dr. Baker, I'm going to need your light.
Don't shoot the artifacts, you maniac. He's gonna listen, but he's very like nervous about Sergeant McCoy with that happy trigger finger.
So are all of you moving? Are all of you moving down the hallway behind the sergeant?
Yeah,
Yes.
I'll be at the back, and I've taken out my treasured heirloom, which is a lady's fan, and I'm fanning myself as this is quite exciting.
I know everybody is very excited. I think our priority here is to get back to the surface, find our way back to the camp, and then we can come back down and you can spend all day doing whatever, reading all kinds of hieroglyphs, whatever it is that you've got to do. But let's make sure we know how to get out of here first.
With all due respect, Mr. Sergeant McCoy, if we leave this place, someone else could take it, and I'm not risking my career for you.
Are you saying that somebody's going to walk past me with this gun?
I'm saying that if we leave to go back to the camp, somebody else could come in when we're not looking. You're a big, tough guy and everything, but you're not
I'll watch guard out front. Now come with me.
Oh, will you both stop bickering? Now listen, I pay all of you, and you won't see a dime if I don't make it out of here alive. So I suggest that we listen to Sergeant McCoy.
Listen
yes,
to
we will
Lady
return
Pamela.
later.
She is apparently the voice of reason.
Hey,
So
Doc,
as
you're
you're
not
all-
just change your will.
Our second priority, Sebastian. We have to find Sebastian.
We
So
can't leave.
as you're all having this argument, you feel a sudden shake in the ground. Like the walls shake a little bit, some sand trickles to the ground, and you see one of the cracks in the wall shift slightly. You get the feeling maybe this place isn't super stable. And as that happens, you hear a mournful howl from behind the stone slab. And then, Lady Pamela, you hear the sound of scampering moving away from the stone slab.
You're evil.
Sounds like Sebastian's got the stinky toots. We got to get to him as quickly as possible.
Sebastian, I'm going to look behind me at the stone slab. Is it still? It's still there.
It's still there. It's still there, but you can't hear Sebastian yipping behind it anymore. It sounds like you heard him scampering away.
I'm going to fan faster and just go, Sergeant, I suggest that we make a move.
You heard the lady. Lady.
So you move down this hallway, and the air is starting to feel a little thinner as you move. Perhaps you've been taking up all the oxygen. Who knows? But it's not quite bad enough that you're having trouble breathing or anything, but definitely a good idea to get out of here probably. And as you move down this hallway through the dust and the sand, you see more of these hieroglyphs. They appear to be telling more of this story, Dr. Baker, just more tales of evil and of terror.
Yes.
And you see a large crack in the wall where it looks like part of the stone has shifted slightly away from another piece, maybe due to seismic activity or instability in the tunneling. Who knows?
McCoy would like to investigate that to see if there's some sort of like passage that he can push open there.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead. You go first because I wanted to see if it was a fresh crack or a new crack or an old crack.
Well, give me a strength roll, Sergeant McCoy, to see if you can.
Let's get in my wheelhouse now.
Yes.
It's gonna roll a 100.
Yeah, I absolutely am. Let's fumble as many of these as possible.
Oh,
No,
okay.
let's go for extreme success on the first one there.
Mhm.
the true strength is the strength of languages.
As I push down a stone wall.
Okay, so you slip your hand into the crack here, Sergeant McCoy, and you pull, and a piece of this slab comes away. And it appears to be like part of the actual side of the wall. And what you see behind is it's not a tunnel or anything, but it looks like a shelf, a stone shelf. And there's more hieroglyphs carved into it. And you see a couple little small clay pots. And then you see two very small mummified figures
Corgis.
with the heads of dogs.
Oh,
They
it is
are
corgis.
corgis.
This is actually in the scenario. I promise I didn't.
When you say small, are you talking bigger than a bread box or like small?
About yay big.
Corgi sized.
So they are
Yes.
corgi size.
Yes.
Okay.
But the heads aren't mummified animal heads. They're the kind of like almost carved out of what
Like
looks
ornate.
to be, yeah, like stone, and they've been painted to look like stylized Egyptian dogs.
The parts that are not ornate carvings, the body part, is that human shaped or animal shaped?
Animal shaped.
Okay.
Mhm.
Fun. So these things are clearly coming to life to kill us.
Dr.
Yeah, so
Jones?
we've got some corgis, and I feel like we should just behead all of these real quick. before
What
we
do you
get
see,
them.
McCoy?
Dr. Jones, you can give me an archaeology roll if you would like to.
Oh yeah, for sure. Why not?
Oh, so
Let's
this
party.
opening's big enough for all of us to see it? Is that right?
Yeah, you can see it once Sergeant McCoy pushes the slab
Okay.
away.
God
How
damn it!
utterly grisly.
I failed.
you suck at this, man.
I'm using 3
suck at this, man.
I'm using 3 luck to make that a success.
Push
Yes,
the
spend your luck.
roll.
Spend your
I'm
luck.
not
Push the
pushing an
roll.
archaeology roll.
Push the archaeology roll. Pull out
Not
a
pushing-
hammer
no.
and start hitting them.
Fine, you can use
It's
your
like all of a sudden I'm not a doctor anymore.
So, Dr. Jones, you know from your other work and from other tombs that you visited that other better archaeologists have explored, that people of importance would often have their pets mummified and put to rest in their tombs with them to be with them in the afterlife. But you
Okay.
also know that occasionally, for someone very, very important, animals that were associated with this person might be buried with them, mummified and buried with them, even if they weren't pets. So you might have someone whose special animal was the crocodile, and they might have a few mummified crocodiles.
Oh, I
so-
hate where all of this is going. But yeah,
Yeah, this isn't great.
Okay, so
Can I lean forward and pick up one of the little clay pots?
Mhm.
Lady Pamela is not an archaeologist and does not understand the importance of not touching the artifacts, so she's going to pick one up and lift the lid off.
Pam,
furiously.
Pam, no, Pam, what are you doing?
so
my
that
name's
so that's
Put
a
it-
scarab beetle.
Your name is Pam right now. You put that down.
Are you actually taking the clay, the wax seal off of this little
Lady
pot?
Pamela, maybe
I've
we
got
should
the pot
leave
in my
this.
hands, and Dr. Jones is shouting at me, calling me Pam. So I'm looking at him like he's about to be murdered by the clay pot.
Hang on, lady. We're going for a ride.
My lady, if we could just listen to the archaeologists in terms of the archaeology, I think that would be best for all of our profits.
Well, what is the point of finding these things if we're not going to
Oh,
look at
I
them?
have no idea what the point of finding any of this is. I'm with you on that, but priority should be to get out of here and not just start smashing pots that may be worth something later down the road.
Oh, smashing pots. What do you take me for? Some sort of Neanderthal? Oh, heavens. Fine, Dr. Jones. If you feel that I am so apish to hold on to one of these things, I'll thrust it into your hands. Like
Dr.
obviously in a
Jones.
bit of a strop. Like
Dr. Jones takes it and cradles it. It's like, okay, it's gonna be okay, and whispers to the pot and sets it exactly right back
Please
where
don't
it
kill
was.
us yet. The
And he
scenario
pets it.
just started.
He pets the pot 3 times and he's like, it's okay. It's okay. And he backs a little bit away and crouches down to get a closer look at what's going on.
He's like Gollum all of a sudden.
And then McCoy just punches it. No.
Uh,
why do I feel like the whole shelf just goes
Don't make me roll.
Dr. Baker is so inept in the field that he's actually pulled out his archaeology field guide and he's trying to read through it with his candle to try to figure out what all this cool stuff is because he doesn't really
Listen,
know.
Dr. Baker, before you get to reading, these could be the Pharaoh's pets. These could be animals that the Pharaoh enjoyed or was associated with, or that people wanted him to aspire to. This could be anything. We gotta look a lot deeper to really figure out what's going on here. So why don't you let me lead from now on?
So as you say that,
Well-
another ominous sort of shifting in the walls and some more sand and plaster falls down on you. You've got a bit of plaster dust in your hair now, Dr. Jones.
well, this was lovely. Let's move.
Maybe
Now.
both of you just go ahead and let me lead and let's get out of here.
I'm starting to be more okay with that.
I think we should try to at least move the slab to free Sebastian. We can't leave Sebastian down here. He's such a bundle of fun.
So
Look, he's got 2 playmates right here.
McCoy is in a hurry, but also interested in saving Sebastian.
Now,
Where-
now,
Is
Now-
there like a
now, boys, listen. The tablet had warding symbols on. All I can assume is that's an exit. It might be that Sebastian's not actually trapped in here with us, and that's the exit, and we're trapped inside. My suggestion is that we find a way out. Sebastian ran away from the slab. As much as I would love to save my precious, beautiful corgi, I don't think he's there anymore. We might encounter him along the way.
Yeah, I agree. It's the exit. Maybe it's a win-win. We either save Sebastian or we get out of here,
all right, let's get out of here.
or we find a pharaoh and we all get famous.
Or dead.
Famously destroyed.
I appreciated the pause between we all get famous. All right, so you move further down this hallway, and
like
the
that
air is
man.
getting thinner and thinner as you go. But what you see is in front of you is what appears to be a huge plaster wall. It's white, and it's floor to ceiling, and it appears to be unblemished, except as your eyes travel down, you see a hole. It's not a drilled hole or anything of that sort. It looks like someone broke through it down at the bottom. It's a very jagged sort of hole. You think maybe you could crawl through it to whatever's on the other side. And in front of this hole, you see a large chest. It's about 6 foot long, and it glints of gold as your candlelight hits it. Yes,
Question.
Dr. Jones.
The debris from the hole, is it going away from us out like the thing went the other way, or is it coming towards us like the thing broke out from behind the plaster wall and has come into this room?
Good question.
You can give
I've
me a
started
track.
to play these games more. I'm starting to ask the right question.
You can give me a track roll.
Can
You
I give
me
a tracking roll on that?
Yes, you can give a track roll to see if you can figure
Because
that
that
out.
is a thing that I have a little of.
Yeah, I have 10% of that, so you're going to want to do that.
Yeah,
You know-
I got 30, which isn't awesome, but let's give it a shot. I'm going to give some tracking here.
Rena, the plaster, was
Like a
that on the side
VCR.
opposite the
Ooh,
slab?
that's a
or the same side?
33.
Ooh.
Do you want to spend luck or do you not?
I have a lot of luck, but I do want to spend
It's
it
close.
because
Push
I'm
the roll.
reckless. No, I'm going to spend the 3 luck to make that a success.
Okay.
So to answer your question, Cup, the
It's the whole
slab is
corgi
behind
size.
you. The
Okay.
slab is behind you,
The
and
plaster's
you're
in
at
front
the
of us.
other end. Yeah, you're
Okay.
at the other end. Because Lady Pamela convinced you that Sebastian had run away, and you need to find another way out. So,
Did she convince me? Okay.
well, she convinced people enough to move down.
People
in this
who
direction.
matter. Yeah, I get it.
Mhm.
So I
So, Sergeant-
succeeded on my tracking roll.
So, Sergeant McCoy, as you're looking around at this plaster dust, it looks like the dust has come outwards towards you.
Towards us.
Towards you. Mhm.
That's not
And
ideal.
And there's
Um,
a little bit of it scattered around the this glinting chest, whatever it is.
The chest. Can I have a look? Does it have any symbols on it or anything in particular, writing-wise?
As you get closer to it, it appears to be made of gold. It is completely gold as far as you can tell from the outside, all the way around. And it looks kind of like, the Ark of the Covenant in Indiana Jones. It looks kind of
Right.
like that, except without the angels and the poles on it. It just looks like a massive gold chest, and it has hieroglyphs carved all the way around it. And
Is it closed or is it open?
It is closed. It has a heavy
Wait,
lid on.
wait. Everyone wait. Somebody broke into this room to get to that
And
chest,
left it.
but it's still closed.
Right. So they're
Don't
either in
touch
it or
that chest.
I'm not going to touch the chest, I promise, but I would like to use archaeology to inspect it.
What are you trying to learn?
I would like to use
Whatever
firearms
the
to
fuck
inspect-
80% archaeology lets me learn about the goddamn thing.
Does the
Why do I
inside
have
look like
to
the Ark of the Covenant as well, Rena?
Maybe I can
That's
smell it.
important.
I don't fucking know.
Dr. Jones, maybe let somebody with language skills
Inspect the chest. You
What
don't
the
know
fuck?
this.
Maybe you can decipher what I'm writing down on this journal. It's fuck you. Can you read
Yeah,
that?
well, I'm
Can
going to
you-
grab that journal and throw it on the ground, you fucker.
Children. Lady Pamela, I apologize again for these two.
Sorry, Lady Pam.
Lady
way I
Pamela's
see it-
very slowly starting to see if she can just nudge the lid of the chest because she's fed up with the bickering and
Lady
is actually
Pamela.
quite furious. And nobody's
What?
paying any attention to her, which is never a good thing. So-
The way I
Sorry.
see it, somebody broke into this room to get to that chest, which means they came to here from somewhere else with this as the goal, which means that's the way out.
The sergeant makes a great point.
If only we had an expert in hieroglyphics who could read the chest and see
Yeah,
what's
but what
inside.
are you gonna do? and then we just start going up the tunnel.
So are you actually pushing the lid off, Lady Pamela?
Well, I'm getting fed up with their arguing, and and I'm really wanting to see what's inside. And
Also,
I'm
we've been
like,
playing for entirely too long.
oh no!
Do it.
And I'm just gonna like pretend I've slipped and pushed it, and push it as hard.
Oh my god!
Okay, so you do a dramatic
Here's
sort of
Sebastian.
Corgi!
you do a dramatic sort of oh no, and you push the lid off. And the lid just kind of slides off. You can't get it all the way off because it's partially up against this wall. But you do manage to get it off enough that you can look inside. Would you like to do that?
Yes, I would like to do.
Okay.
Is it possible to?
But I would
Is
like
it possible? I'm not gonna interrupt. I did interrupt, but while she's trying to look inside, can Baker be concurrently trying to read it so that, like, as she
Yes.
discovers whatever horrible things inside, I will realize what's inside, and then we can have that moment.
Okay, so give me a read hieroglyphs roll, Dr. Baker. So Lady Pamela, you push the lid off and it makes this kind of creak sound as the lid slides off. And you look and it's cold. The lid feels cold under your hands. And you realize this is gold. This is actually gold. And as you push, you look down and there's a waft of cold air. And you see a few amber beads on the bottom of a chest.
Oh,
Just rolling around.
there's not just the amber beads.
Yep. The inside looks like it's made of gold too, but there's just a few beads rolling around.
Just amber
Gentlemen, this
beads.
is entirely solid gold. And I'm going to reach in and pluck the beads out.
Okay, you can do that.
Oh,
Why don't you just fucking eat one?
Hey, Pamela, and I failed my roll, but can I get like? I want to get uncomfortably close to this open chest to try to push that roll and maybe like really dig into these hieroglyphics. Like I want to look
Okay.
at the lid and the kind of rim around the opening.
Okay.
Phrasing,
Sorry,
phrasing,
Wes.
phrasing.
So go ahead and push that roll. While you're doing that, Sergeant McCoy, you can give me an idea roll while you're looking around.
Oh, you've got to be fucking kidding me.
Yes!
All right. I'm
Okay.
70 and I rolled 280 somethings.
Whoa.
We're all
Okay.
gonna die now.
So as you're getting in close and trying to read this, Dr. Baker, you
Hey, I
put
had
your
an
hands-
idea.
While I'm being attacked by mummified corgis.
Hey, I have a thought.
So we'll get to you in a second, Sergeant. So as you put your hands up on this cold golden chest, Dr. Baker, and I'd like you to give me a power roll.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay.
This looks like a great-
I need to learn how to play better. This is oh god.
Jesus Christ!
That's
No, when you
380 somethings
complain-
in a row.
When you
Okay.
complain that you always die first, I do always backtrack to the things that you did.
But I roll so horrifically too. I mean,
It's true though.
it's
So
80, 87, 87.
mhm.
You're killing
All
it.
right.
So you put your hands on this cold golden chest, and you start to feel the sort of little
Phrasing.
tickling sensation in the back of your brain,
Oh god.
and it just makes you feel uncomfortable for a minute. That's all. That's all that
Y'all-
happens there. Mhm.
You all right, Dr. Baker? Did you get a good read there?
Yeah, it's this is new. I don't understand any of these hieroglyphics. This is a
And
Why do you
Sergeant, well,
sound like Nosferatu?
I feel like we're all getting a little bit weird, and we maybe need to go get some fresh air.
yeah, Sergeant, as they're doing whatever shenanigans the rich folks do, you're looking around at this plaster wall and studying these tracks, and you notice that there's corresponding plaster on one edge of the chest, and it occurs to you that this is the way the plaster is laid out and the size of the hole. Someone may have pushed the chest through this plaster to create that hole.
Push the chest.
Huh. Okay, so somebody put this shove this chest into this room.
That's not
Are
ideal.
y'all following me?
Yeah, I'm picking up what you're putting down. Gollum over here doesn't get it, but
Yeah,
I do.
Baker, we're going to need to have a talk here.
My question is, why on earth would they want to get into this room? I'm playing with the beads as I say this.
Oh, I really wish you hadn't picked up those beads, Lady Pamela, but
They're giving me a weird feeling.
Well, they're definitely going to be what kills us first. But let's go ahead and go up this tunnel or hole into this hole. Find out where we can get from here.
Are
there any other
exits? Me
exits?
to get onto my hands and knees and crawl through a dirty hole.
No, I'm
I mean,
expecting you to stay here and just live out your life here, Lady Pamela.
Yeah, it's a nice place. It's like a 3-2 loft with hieroglyphics. And
You could put the beads in the hole.
Are there any other openings in this
You
room?
put the
Is it
beads in the
just
hole.
You haven't seen anything. No, it's just been
What's funny
this
about that?
long hallway, the stone slab on one end, and then this plaster wall with the hole in it.
I would like to at least peer into that hole and see if I can gather. Yeah, we're all just saying it, okay?
Let's just do it.
We're all just gonna have to embrace it.
hole.
I just
You know
destroyed
what?
my microphone. Okay.
Just stick my entire head in that hole. Let's just
Put the beads in slow and then pull them out slow.
don't put the beads in the hole until you have permission.
Never pull them out fast.
Consent is important.
Consent. Yes, we are now making hole jokes. That's just the rest of this podcast.
All right.
All of our
So-
Jackbox friends are here. They know what to expect.
So, Sergeant, you look into this tunnel, and it's dark.
Okay.
Yes, it's
We're calling it a tunnel now.
You've realized it is a tunnel. It's not just a hole in the plaster. It is some kind of tunnel, maybe a short one, maybe a longer one. You can't see all the way to the other end with just the light of your candle and then the match that y'all have lit. But it does appear to go somewhere. And you
Is
think
it narrow or is it gaping?
Yeah, would you say it's a tight fit?
Well, it depends on your size now, doesn't it?
It does.
I mean, just looking at my character sheet, size is going to be an issue.
Yeah,
Mine's very
my character's
small.
got problems.
I'm slight. I'm very slight.
So as you're sitting around making whole jokes, you hear another
does it seem to be
ominous
going
rumbling.
up or down?
Good question.
Like I
Good
feel like
question.
we're underground. Does it feel like it's sloping up?
It when you put your sort of hand through to try and feel which direction it's going in, it appears to go just straight through. You can't see any sloping as far as you can see.
Baker, Dr. Baker, how many candles do you have?
I still have the one lit, right, Rina?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
How
so
many
I
do you
three-
have, though?
I have 3 other than this one. 3 more.
Would you be willing to sacrifice one if we just rolled it down that hole to see if we could get a look at what we're dealing with?
Is that
Like,
how
you lit-
candles work, Dr. Jones?
Shut the fuck up. It could stay lit. If you roll it slow, we could get an idea of what's going down in there.
No, that doesn't seem like a good idea. I have paper. Maybe we could set a piece of paper on fire, a balled up piece
Great.
of paper, throw it
Anything
down
with
there.
light
I'm
to
gonna
go
lift up my
before us.
skirts a little bit, kneel down, and I'm gonna crawl into the hole and just be like, "For God's sake, you men just won't stop bickering, and I want to get out of here before I get crushed to death by sand."
Man, Kat really doesn't want to play with us, and she is just trying to die.
It looks like Lady Pamela took care of it.
No, I'm with Lady Pamela on this. I'm like, yeah, let's get moving, and I'm
Am I
right
wearing one
behind
of
her.
those really big poofy skirt things? Because I'm
Like with
guessing
the
it gets
hoops?
stuck, like as I get into the hole, and there's just a skirt, and I like have to like squeeze my way in.
Well, what do you think Lady Pamela would be wearing? Would you be wearing like
Does she have a
a sort of
bustle?
lounge suit? Would you be wearing a dress? Would you be wearing dig clothes? Like what do you think your character would be wearing after 2 months in the desert?
I think Pamela would be wearing a dress. I think regardless of how
Mhm.
hot and uncomfortable it's gotten, she always maintains appearances.
Well, it is the 1920s, so it's probably still more of that flapper style, not so much the bustles and everything, but you are going to get your nice clothes kind of torn up by crawling through.
To be fair, I'm worried more about being crushed. So
True. Clothes are replaceable, your bones are not.
indeed.
So Lady Pamela has started crawling through.
Sergeant McCoy is following, and he's not even looking to see if the other two are coming because he's not interested.
This is going great.
Dr. Jones, shouldn't we go look at the slab? Do you really want to leave?
No, I feel like we really ought to at least like get a picture of what we're dealing with, so when we come back, we have a better idea of how to navigate it. I'm with you on this one. Yeah,
I have pen and paper. We could at least draw some of the hieroglyphics.
Oh, good. We're splitting the party already. I mean, I don't have forever to play, so I'm on board with that.
We'll be right there, Lady Pamela. We just need to get one. We need to take note of one thing.
So
we're all gonna fucking die. Okay.
So you're going back to the stone slab?
I think we should. We didn't even look at it. I mean,
we didn't read all the comics.
Look at it. You saw the occult symbols on it.
So
Pamela
wait.
Yeah.
Just to put it in context, you woke up having no idea how you got down here, and as the rest of us are looking for an exit, you've decided to stay, not knowing where we even are.
For science.
For science.
There's something tickling at the back of my brain telling me that we should go look at this slab.
No, it's fine. I just wanted to make sure I knew everything.
And Dr. Jones is going to stay with him because he wants to protect the discovery. Like, that's his whole mission here, is to get his name on this shit. So I'm not leaving Dr.
Possibly
Bacon
written in blood.
Yeah, the second author. I
most
understand.
likely spelled by my intestines in cursive. Yes, but it will be fine.
Okay, this is like fast. This is just like we'll run and catch up to them. No problem.
I don't run.
You'll be fine.
Have you heard my character? We don't run.
We'll just catch y'all up on the top side, and we'll have a little download there.
Okay.
So Lady Pamela, you crawl through this tunnel. It doesn't take you super long, but it is a slight bit of a crawl. And you come out on the other side. What light source do you have?
I have my box of matches, so I'll light one of those up. But then I realised that it's probably not going to last me very long, these matches. But I do have with me a water flask filled with an alcoholic spirit. So I'd like to tear off a little bit of my already ruined gown, stuff it into the bottle and light that, because you can use a Molotov cocktail as a torch and they last a really long time.
Perfect.
Okay.
Wait.
So,
I'd like to delve into that a little bit further. Why do you know that, Kat?
No reason.
Is there a
Is that an
role she could
Antifa
potentially
manual?
fumble? What is the malfunction? Is there a way to make that happen?
well, it might come up later. Maybe. So you crawl out the other side, Lady Pamela. You hurriedly make this makeshift Molotov cocktail, and you hold up this flask.
McCoy is visibly upset with this use of booze. Like he is struggling to keep his disapproval not plain on his face.
You're only disappointed for a split second, Sergeant, because you're quickly distracted by what you see in the light of this makeshift Molotov cocktail. Because as the light blazes up and you can suddenly see around you, you blink slightly in the bright light, but what you see takes your breath away. Because what you see is a room packed floor to ceiling with treasure. There's a golden chariot in the middle of the room, just a complete golden chariot with carved horses pulling it. You see a golden rowboat of some kind, the big fancy kind that a pharaoh would use. You see furniture. You see large clay pots. You see jewelry just laying around. Ostrich fans off in the corner. You see you just see treasure upon treasure upon treasure. This looks to be even greater than what Howard Carter discovered when he found Tut's tomb.
I immediately go and hop on the back of one of those carved horses on the chariot and pretend I'm riding it.
I don't think I can breathe, Mr. McCoy. Sergeant, we're rich.
I think that we are, lady.
We chose poorly, Dr. Jones.
Yeah. In fact,
We really did.
let me ask you just real quick. I feel like we've gotten to know each other real well. Would you like me to close this tunnel off? Just if that were an option, would you like me to close that tunnel off? I mean,
There's more than
fuck
enough
you.
here to split between us.
okay, that's
honestly,
true.
McCoy,
That's fair.
close the tunnel. Well, of course, when Dr. Jones and Dr. Baker return, of course we can close the tunnel off. It
Yes,
might
that's
stop-
absolutely what I
Yes,
meant. Is that
yes,
once
no,
they return,
I agree. An excellent
I
idea.
mean, I'm not
gonna
crazy.
start picking up various bits of gold just because I'm in shock.
So you pick up this heavy golden collar, like those big Egyptian collars. This one looks like a falcon with its wings outspread. It's got lapis lazuli eyes, and you can just hang it around your neck if you want to.
Yes, I will do
It loo-
that.
It
And
looks
if there's
stunning.
a crown, there will also be a crown. I may wear that.
You find simple bands of gold with little serpents on them with emerald eyes that you can put
I
one
have
of those
totally put one of those on my head.
Oh
And I'm
God,
looking
y'all.
for, is there like a fist-sized jewel somewhere? Like a ruby or an emerald?
on.
I mean, a diamond would be great, but I don't want to be greedy.
Give me a spot hidden. See what you
Sure.
can find.
Are you about to keister a ruby?
I mean, it depends on the size she says it is. 89, so not good. I didn't find anything.
Okay, so as you're just glancing around, you see smaller gems and you see these big jewelry pieces. Maybe some of the chests or those clay jars might have larger jewels in them, but the only ones you can see laying around are the smaller ones.
I don't just trust those clay jars at all.
So while you're
When you're in a room full of treasure and the DM says also there's some clay pottery, you go, okay, well, why would you mention that?
well, keep in mind this is ancient Egypt, and those are the kinds of things they would often bury stuff in.
Yeah, and like
Right.
organs and stuff. Didn't they put their brains in jars and stuff?
Yeah,
It's the Holy
I'm
Grail.
like, seriously, isn't that a thing?
that's the
Grail,
thing.
McCoy, get it.
Okay, so as you two are looking around and reveling in your newfound wealth, Dr. Baker and Dr. Jones, what are you doing as the air gets thinner and you are going back down in the other direction of this hallway?
Yes, Dr. Jones, I just want to look at the slab one more time. It would be a terrible shame to miss out on this discovery.
Yeah, and we really want to make sure that we get it all documented, so when we come back, we know what to square off and what to photograph and what to break apart and what to bring back to the museums. We got to really document this.
And
I want
most
my name
importantly,
on it.
Yes, we want there to be no doubt about who discovered this. It wasn't.
That's exactly
maybe
right,
Pamela
Dr. Jones and
McCoy.
Dr. Baker.
Who the
Yes.
fuck let y'all have a scene together?
Casting is terrible in this.
See, I'm the one who has the subscription, so I have to be in all the scenes. So I think we're gonna go pretty quickly, right? Dr. Jones, Dr. Baker, toward that slab, because we do want to catch up to the others at some point.
Mhm. So as you're doing that, give me a Constitution roll, both of you.
Maybe we're walking slowly.
Give me a Constitution roll.
All right.
Oh, that's not a good roll, Wes.
What the shit is wrong with me today? I got 50. That's not great.
Hey, 49.
That's my best roll of the day, which
Still a fail.
I passed by 1 point. Very nice.
Okay,
Okay.
so Dr. Baker, you're fine. It's your chest feels a little tight, but you're doing fine. But Dr. Jones, you're really out of breath as you're walking back down this hallway. Like the air's been so thin. It's just you're not enjoying this.
Dr. Baker, can we hurry? Can we hurry up? This is getting.
Come on,
It's
Dr.
getting really
Jones.
tough in here.
Have you ever walked more than a mile in your life?
No. Why would I?
Just a minute. We don't have to stay for long. I just want to look at the slab.
Why do I imagine that, like,
what are we gonna
at
find?
this point in the film, it just cuts back to me and McCoy, and we're both like throwing gold coins in the air. Like,
Making gold snow angels.
oh, you're both like,
That's
Looking
pretty
like you
much
just
what's
won a bowl
happening.
game.
I'm going to very awkwardly and unnaturally assist Dr. Jones, walking him toward the slab, like just kind
Okay.
of with my shoulder supporting him.
What would you like to do with this slab?
Sucks
Okay,
to your
so-
ass, Mar.
Lady Pamela
Shut up. I have the conch.
Lady Pamela was really the only one who examined it.
Mhm.
She knew the occult. So I
Mhm.
want to kind of like put my hands on it, feel across it, see if I can like
That's
rub
good.
off some dirt, discover some hieroglyphics.
So are you wanting to push your original occult roll?
Yeah,
Oh,
please
God,
do
why
that.
would you ask me that?
Please do the words she just said.
Because that's what it sounds like to me. That's what it sounds like, Dr. Baker.
I'm so scared. I'm already possessed or something, right? How's the tickling going in the back of my brain?
Still there.
Okay.
Go big or go home.
Should I roll sand for that? For the tickling? Let's see. My occult's not that good. Okay, the chat wants me to do it. I'm so bad with peer pressure. I'm going to try to like clear it off a little bit so I can get a better look at these symbols and push that occult roll to see what I can see, because I don't trust Lady Pamela's read on this.
Okay. Push the roll.
For fuck's sake.
Let me do terrible things to you.
I don't want to die
God,
first.
Raising.
It's just the
I'm gonna
slap.
laugh my ass off if you pass this.
It's delayed.
Oh, yay.
my!
That is a hard success.
Nice.
Oh,
Okay. So you put your hands up, you brush off some of the dirt, and you see some of the symbols that you didn't see before. And you do recognize these. You don't recognize most of the symbols on here, but you do recognize these specific ones. And these are particularly Egyptian warding symbols, magic symbols from, you'd say, probably the first dynasty, meant to ward off great evil.
Okay.
And
so
as
the
you put
evil's
your
coming
hand,
from the room we're in.
and as you put your hands on them, that tickling in the back of your brain intensifies.
oh God.
Okay. Dr. Jones, Lady Pamela missed some things here. I think these symbols are trying to ward off something from this side. So there must be something very valuable inside, something unimaginable. I think it's going to be the tomb of the great pharaoh. We need to get inside this slab.
Let's go. Do we go crawl in that hole and follow?
Well, the hole's on the other side. Is there any way to get in here, Rina? Can we see any possible path?
No. Nope.
No, sucks to be
Nope.
you.
This was a really
Shit.
terrible decision.
So it says don't go in.
No,
Is that
it's
what you're
trying to,
telling
me?
it's
With
trying to
that-
keep evil out.
It
of
says
the-
don't dead open inside.
Was that a hard success on
It
your
was a hard
occult?
success, yeah.
Okay. So you get the impression, Dr. Baker, that whatever the great evil it's warding against is on your side,
Exactly.
not the other side.
Right. Yeah, Dr. Jones, there's something, they were trying to keep something out of this tomb from this room, from where we are. So I think we need to get into that room, but my strength is very low.
So's mine.
If only you had a strong person with you.
So, Dr. Baker, I would like you to give me a power roll right now.
Because
What about-
if I pass, I'm going to be strong enough to open the slab.
No.
You'll be powerful.
No, because as you're touching this slab and the closer you are to it, something might be happening.
Something's happening. It's happening.
Can I spend luck on power?
Yes.
Okay, I'll spend 2 points to pass.
Okay. So the buzzing in the back of your brain intensifies, and it's giving you a migraine. And the longer you stay by this slab, the worse it feels.
And I'm just kind of like back away from it, leave Dr. Jones standing right next to it.
Hey, what's wrong with you? What's
The
wrong with
air
you?
in here, there's something, maybe we should follow the others. Something's wrong here. Do you have a crowbar or something we could use to move this slab? I'm very good to move the slab.
I got a trowel. You think that would do it? That's what I have. A little,
I don't
little
think
spade
so.
shovel.
Yeah, and I have a pipe. Is it like a lead pipe or a smoking pipe?
Dr. Jones, it's getting very hard for you to breathe.
Okay, I think we should leave now, Dr. Jones.
No time for love, Dr. Jones.
Okie doke, Dr. Jones. Let's get out of here. Yeah, let's get out of here. Maybe we grab some clay pots on the way out in case there's no treasure in the next room.
I'm not touching any goddamn clay pots. Did you not hear me yell at Pam?
Okay.
All right.
So just to be clear, Rina, there's not any kind of roll we could do to discover a way to open the slab at the moment.
What if I
Well-
rolled really hard into it with my like
What if I rolled an 001 for spot hidden?
roll me like the guy in Hook, like where I pull my legs up and you know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna roll Dr. Jones into the slab.
Well, I'm going to put it this way because I don't want to kill you yet. The longer
don't.
you stay in this room, the more likely it is you are going to pass out from asphyxiation because the air is getting so very thin. Dr. Jones is about to have to make a constitution roll.
We're moving as we're asking you questions out of character. We're moving toward the crawly hole.
As we're asking you questions out of character.
Come on, Dr. Jones, you can do this. Come on. Get your
Okay.
steps in, buddy. Get your steps in. Here we go.
I don't think that was a thing in this time.
All right, so you both crawl into the tunnel. You come out the other side. You see this marvelous room full of treasure. Although, Dr. Jones, it takes you a minute to catch your breath so that you can properly have your breath taken away again as you look at this room. And
I
so,
collapse to my
holy
knees.
shit.
Dr. Baker collapses to his knees. Like,
Dr. Jones is already there.
yes, you're both on your knees looking around as Sergeant McCoy is sitting on a golden horse with a
made
little
of fingernails.
with a little
Yes.
tiara with a serpent on it on his head, and Lady Pamela is just digging through stacks of gems and jewels.
Bedecked in
You
jewelry.
guys just in here
and-
playing dress up?
And so as the camera pans around the room on this scene, let's take a quick break. Shall we say 10 minutes? Is that okay for everybody?
Yeah, let's do 10.
So come back right on the hour.
And Dr. Baker's crying. I just want that to be clear. Like tears of
Duly
joy
noted.
streaming down his face as he looks at the treasure. All right. So if you were on yesterday's stream, I'm actually going to attempt to make the intermission work this time. So we'll see how that goes. Rina, I'm going to pull you out of the chat here. And let's see if I can make this work. So I'm going to move immediately it's not working. So I'm going to collapse full screen here, get the intermission going, and I'm hopeful that the audio will work this time on the intermission. So let's see how that goes. Okay. And well, I don't know why it's doing that. Here we go. Let me know if you hear audio on like music coming from the video. All right, this is my under 1 minute warning to players. Flicking the intermission lights to come back to the set here. All right. I feel like I'm missing an ASMR moment here. Join the posse. Do it. Patreon.com/AintSlade. All right. I'm going to start bringing players back in to the feed now. In the wrong order, no doubt.
Could you hear me just now?
We can now. We missed whatever comment you just made, though.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to put Rina back here.
That's probably for the best.
Okay.
I was doing ASMR noises for Cup, but he couldn't hear me either.
Oh, no.
I was describing my state of arousal. So.
Oh my!
Is this?
Let's just go ahead and change this. Go ahead and do that for an hour.
That's the show now.
Do it for me.
I do think this stream has the distinction now of having our basest moment of depravity. It used to be held by Stalker in the Moonlit Mall with the masturbating security guard, and now it is the bead tunnel for
I missed
Necropolis. Yeah, you missed
The
that
security
one.
guard was jerking it?
Well, there's a whole backstory. You have to go watch it.
There's a
Patreon.com.
backstory. Oh, okay.
Backstory to the masturbating security.
Security guard origins.
Did it need a backstory? I mean,
Christopher
It was
Nolan's
Cuppy
The Jerk
described
Knight
a few
Rises.
things. Cuppy described things in just the wrong way, so that the rest of
You
us.
know how I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
the
do
phrasing
think-
was wrong.
One benefit to streaming is that people realize what it's like to edit this show, which gives me a lot of validation as we get on these tangents of depravity. But this is fun so far, Rina. Thank you for doing this.
Yes.
I'm
Speaking
enjoying
of
it very much.
the beads from the tunnel hole, I put them in my pocket. I'm not keeping them like out in my hand. I've just because I'm wearing like as much jewelry as physically possible.
Just to be clear, we're removing things from the sacred tunnel that has warnings on it to not be that. Got it. Okay.
No, we're totally doing that.
Those are in the
We're
treasure room.
real dead. I love it. Okay.
Have we
Okay.
heard Sebastian at all? He's
No.
been out of the arc for a long time now.
Mhm.
Okay. I just
Yeah.
wanted to check.
Lady Pamela heard him running away. So.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, he's probably safe. He's a smart dog, so he's smarter than all of you combined. So he's most likely found a way out.
Okay. Yeah, he's probably found a way out. I agree.
Okay, so are we ready to pick back up?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. So we brought the curtain temporarily down on Dr. Baker and Dr. Jones finally making their way into the treasure room. They collapsed to their knees, out of breath from the tunnel outside, but also just in awe and shock at all the treasure that's around them. Lady Pamela is rifling through things, and Sergeant McCoy is sitting on a golden horse, acting like he's an officer.
Yeah.
So, what would y'all like to do?
As much as I have enjoyed fishing around for jewelry, and I'm now bedecked as much as possible, I'm going to start looking for an exit because the rumbling did worry me.
Okay, so you're going to start looking around the room.
Yep.
Dr. Jones and Dr. Baker.
You guys just grabbed all this stuff and started messing around without us to advise you? Are you serious?
Oh, Jones, calm down. It's just a little bit of jewelry. Gosh.
I don't recall needing or wanting your advice, Jones.
Listen, Sergeant, you may be in charge of the army, but you're not in charge of archaeology.
He says as sternly as possible.
So
Also,
As
I'm not in charge of the army.
as you're looking around, Dr. Jones, why don't you give me an archaeology roll as you're looking at all these different things?
Some I'm good at. That's fun. Let's do it. All right, I'm rolling, and no, of course I failed it. Of course I failed it. Of course,
Okay.
It's great.
So you just see a lot of
got 80 in that.
you have a lot of different. You see a lot of different pieces, a lot of very ornate jewelry and furniture, but you don't pick up on anything interesting beyond that. Yes.
I pick up some gold and I push the goddamn roll.
Okay. Push the roll.
Please fail this.
Good. Yeah. No,
Aw.
y'all. No, I need some success in my life.
Okay. So
That
as you go pick
That
up
is a hard success. Okay.
you go pick up a couple pieces. Like you pick up a little statue, a little gold statue, and you look at it, and then you go pick up a necklace and you look at that, and something starts to bother you. And then you go and you examine one of these pieces of furniture. It's one of those long laying couches that they used with the carved headrest. And
Sure.
you finally figure out what's bothering you about this. And it's that these pieces in this room, everything that you see, are all from different periods.
That
They're-
are
they're
later
not-
than
They're
the
not
pharaoh?
they're not all just one era like you would expect, right? And you don't even know what era this tomb is supposed to be from. But you see there's some jars over there that are very much First Dynasty. And then you see some on the other side, you see these carved wooden fans, and those have some symbols on them that are definitely 13th Dynasty. And then that chariot looks a bit more 23rd Dynasty. And all of these pieces are from
That's
very
my chariot.
very different.
I called it.
So these are all from very different time periods in Egyptian history. So that seems a little odd.
Guys, it's a little weird that all of this stuff spans dynasties. Because I had to say it in the American. I don't know why.
Dynasty. It's a dynasty.
I almost said
I'm still
dynasty, but
looking-
it would have felt inauthentic.
I'm kind of like, I'm not interested in Jones's archaeology talk as far as I'm concerned. It's gold. So I'm just going to still keep looking for a door or a tunnel or.
So
And
you're
McCoy
picking
is
your way
also
through.
helping.
Okay.
He wants to get out of here.
Okay, so Lady Pamela and Sergeant McCoy are picking their way through some of this furniture and stuff. Dr. Baker, you look around, you see what looks to be some papyrus scrolls stacked up in the
Ooh.
corner,
Yeah.
and some stone tablets as well. They look to be like edged in gold in certain places.
Mhm.
So that catches your eye as sort of a languages person
Yeah.
in amongst all this treasure.
Good. Yeah, Baker's edging as well. He's gonna go and pick up the papyrus scrolls.
Baker's what now?
and he's edging along the perimeter of the room, going.
You
to pick
do
up these
this on
scrolls.
purpose.
What are you talking about? He's gonna pick up. He just wants to see if he can read anything from the
Just over here
scrolls or the
sounding.
tablets.
You're doing that on purpose.
Yeah, I just want to use my language skills. I don't know
Okay.
what's going on.
So you pick up one of these stone tablets. This is an actual tablet. It's
Okay.
not a slab. So you pick it up,
Thankfully, yeah.
and it's got painted in really rich colors. The hieroglyphs on it the hieroglyphs are carved into it, and they're painted in really rich, vibrant colors.
Ooh.
So you can give me a read hieroglyphs roll while you're looking at that. And while you're doing that, Lady Pamela and Sergeant McCoy, as you're moving around the edge of the room, You see off to the right is what looks like another stone slab. And you see what looks like two statues, one on either side of this stone slab. And you think you see another, is it maybe plaster? Maybe all the way out around the other edge of the room, but it's a bit further away. So that's what you see as you're moving around the room. How did your...
I passed by 2.
Okay. So you start reading this stone tablet, Dr. Baker, and as you're reading this tablet, you realize it appears to be some kind of prayer or hymn to some kind of god, and it says, "Hail to the Black Pharaoh, the subjugator of man. Hail to the bringer of wisdom, the messenger of the old ones. Hail to the Lord undying, the many-masked one." And it just repeats these phrases over and over and over.
That track is fire.
Can I? I don't know. Everyone's gonna be mad at me. I feel like he might read that out loud as he's looking at the tablet.
Okay.
Just kind of like reciting it to himself, like trying to figure out what it says. Like, oh, hail to the Black Pharaoh, and just kind of like working it out.
You're muted, Wes.
I said, spit hot fire, spit hot fire.
So I don't think Sergeant McCoy and Lady Pamela are close enough to hear this, but Dr. Jones definitely is. So I'd like both of you to give me a power roll. And Dr. Baker, you're going to do that with a penalty die.
Haha.
Am I Dr. Baker?
Yes, that's you.
Oh, God damn it.
Boy, howdy.
Oh, come on. I don't even need the penalty die.
I'm not gonna lie, roll
Okay.
20 is starting to lose me with the ratio of 80 plus rolls that I've seen.
Can I use this?
So
I not die.
Dr. Baker, you're going to lose 3 sand.
Okay.
And Dr. Jones, you're going to lose 2. As both of you start to hear this voice in the back of your heads, and it's repeating this chant. And you don't know how you understand this language because maybe it's Egyptian because it sounds kind of similar to your dig team, but there's something strange about it. But you hear it's almost like a chorus of voices repeating this prayer.
To the victor, dun, dun, dun.
Never gonna let you down. Never gonna
I think,
Yeah, they're basically rickrolling you in the back of your head.
Dr. Baker's.
So
Set to dance.
it's just it's not overtaking your own thoughts or anything,
Yeah.
but you hear it really loud for a moment, which is what makes you kind of lose your grip for a moment, and then it just settles down into this low humming chant in the back of your brains, just for.
Can Dr. Baker's non-conscious response to that just be to kind of like pull at his hair? Like he's got,
Yes.
like physically it's bothering him in his head.
Yes.
This with the tickling from earlier.
Yep.
So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Dr. Jones is just kind of shaking his head.
You ever get a song
other
stuck
two
in
are-
your head, guys?
The other two looking at us like, what the fuck?
Trying to bite his ear.
How
just
so,
like,
get these statues and this slab? Can I see if this slab is like a doorway? Maybe there's a way of opening it.
So you're going up to the stone slab.
Yep.
Sergeant McCoy, are you going with her?
Sure.
Okay, so you guys, the two of you move up towards the stone slab with these two statues, and it appears to be like the kind of guard statues you might have outside a tomb. One of them is holding a khopesh, which is this curved Egyptian sword, and the other one's holding a long spear.
I would like to take that sword.
Wait a second. So
You're actually already dead. But yeah.
no.
Well, no, I want to take it before the statue comes to life.
You see this as you're coming up to it. And then as you get a little bit closer, you realize there's something a little bit wrong about these statues that bothers you. It just really bothers you. And then you realize that it's not stone or whatever it is, these bodies, they're mummified.
It's marzipan?
Like it's mummified human bodies with these kind of Egyptian kilts and these heavy collars carrying these weapons. And then as you come up close to them, you realize what was really bothering you about these statues is that
Friendship.
they're two mummified heads, aren't human. One of them's a crocodile. One of them appears to be a dog. Maybe a
Corgi.
jackal?
Is it a corgi?
It is a jackal.
Okay.
And
No, that's good. That was a good answer.
and as you realize this, you realize these are mummified humans with mummified animal heads attached to their bodies. And I'd like you both to roll sanity for me as you notice this.
Gross, man.
I don't have a lot of that sanity that I've heard so much about.
How much do you have, Chuck?
45 to start with.
Oh, I can't
Okay,
remember
cool.
how it works in Call of Cthulhu. If you roll above or below, how does it work?
Below. Mhm.
Okay, so I failed mine. Pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah, this roll 20
also
thing is
failed mine.
bullshit.
Yeah, I failed mine too.
Thanks,
Okay.
potential sponsor Roll20.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
Okay. So Sergeant McCoy, you're going to lose 3 points of sand.
Sure. Comfortable with that.
And Lady Pamela, you are also going to lose 3 points of sand as you realize just what you're looking at. And Lady Pamela, that jackal-headed one, you feel like it's watching you.
Oh,
Like-
I'm going to recoil from both of them. Be like, oh no. I'm going to look at the other side of the room. Sergeant, you be a dear and check that out.
As you move away, Lady Pamela, you can feel those beady little eyes on you.
Ugh.
Maybe it's just the way it's mummified, but
Are they moving or does it
No,
just
they're not-
feel like the
they're not
eyes are
moving.
watching?
it just feels like it.
I thought you were
Whatever-
talking about Sergeant McCoy's eyes.
Yeah, Sergeant, that crocodile's looking at you the wrong way.
Wait, is he the spear or the sword?
Spear.
Okay, I want to take the spear.
Okay. So you're gonna try and wrest the spear out of the mummified.
I'm going
Okay.
to do it.
Okay.
So, congratulations, everyone. This is popping off now.
Give me a strength roll.
Okay.
Let's
cool.
die.
Let's get ready to fumble. I
82,
almost
what a
did.
fucking shock.
That-
So good.
Everything's over 80 on roll 20. This is
I feel like
insane.
roll 20's like, nah, you.
I
nah.
mean, obviously, I'm burning 2 luck to make that a success.
Okay. So you go up and you grab onto the spear, and you just sort of pull, and then it doesn't quite come away. So you just put a little more muscle into it. You manage to pull it away from this crocodile-headed thing,
Mhm.
and
And
you
the
have a spear.
consequences of my actions are
you have a spear.
okay. Cool.
That crocodile's still watching you, though.
Okay.
Stab it.
I mean, I kind of want to poke it in the eyes with the spear now.
I think you should.
Because I
Dr.
don't
Jones
like
doesn't,
I
but
don't
I
like
do.
I don't like the eyes. They're very disconcerting.
Okay. Is that what you would like to do?
Have you guys had enough fun so far? Are we okay
You
with
could
just
just
dying
cover the eyes.
immediately?
Yes.
I think I'm gonna see if I can just poke those eyes out.
Okay.
I am making my way very quickly across the other side of the room towards the plastered wall.
So we'll get to the consequences of your actions in a minute, Sergeant.
No doubt.
Dr. Jones, as you have this sort of buzzing in the back of your head, and you
Sure.
kind of stumble backwards a bit, give me a luck roll.
Oh, fucking A. Here we go. And I got a 64, which ain't gonna cut it.
That's a
Okay.
great roll for Roll20, though.
Yeah,
so-
but I've got 37 luck, so that's not good.
So you stumble backwards and you crash into one of these clay jars, and it falls over
Good.
and shatters. And all of a sudden, there are these tiny little blue scarab beetles running around the floor.
Oh, the scarab beetles. I'd rather get eaten by the crocodile.
There are hundreds of them. It feels like just
Spear.
they come scuttling out of the shards, and they start crawling up your leg, and you feel these tiny little pinpricks.
Remember when she was talking about body horror?
Yeah,
Yes,
we're
that's-
here.
it's you. You're it.
Is this a Scott moment where they burrow under my skin and my eyes turn
and-
black and
and they keep you trapped in the murder shack.
Yeah.
No, they just start crawling up your body, and you start like shaking and clawing.
No!
And you start feeling these tiny little bites all running up your arms, and some of them start crawling up your neck towards your face.
Oh, guys, get him off me! Get him off me! Oh, God, they're biting me! God, get him off! Oh!
Dr. Baker's gonna observe what's happening and try to get as far away from the beetles as possible.
Stop being scientific, you stupid bastard! Get these things off me!
Can I with the Molotov cocktail? Are there quite a lot of them on the floor?
Oh,
Yes.
God damn
I'm
it.
going to throw the Molotov cocktail at the beetle pile.
I like it. I like it.
Remember, I'm running away, Rina.
With all the flammable materials here?
Yes,
Are you sure?
there are bugs everywhere.
It's been a fun game, y'all.
Okay. So, Dr. Jones, first I'd like you to lose 1 SAN
Of course.
for this experience.
Yeah, I'm down to 37.
That's gonna
there.
seem inconsequential in a
All right.
moment.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And then Lady Pamela just tosses a Molotov cocktail into the pile of these writhing bugs.
Like you do.
Now I
So-
have flaming bugs running at me.
Yes.
Awesome.
But the good news is you can now see this room really well.
Do I see any exits real quick?
You do see that plaster wall off to the side as you're frantically looking around, and it looks like there's another hole broken into that plaster wall.
Same orientation on the hole, like things coming into that room.
Well, you'd have to actually look at it, and you're kind of busy right
You're
now.
on
Dr.
fire.
Jones.
I'm just asking you.
So I would like a group luck roll. Whoever has the lowest luck, please roll luck.
That's probably
What's-
going to be me.
What's your
What
luck
is
at,
it?
Chuck?
35.
All
Yeah,
right, you got me
36,
beat.
buddy.
All right.
Okay, here we go, team. Look at me with my 13.
Okay, so
Success.
Roll 20 said, fuck you, Chuck.
Yeah.
so you see the Molotov cocktail hits this pile of bugs, and there's a bright burst of light, and then it looks weird because a bunch more of these bugs come running, like scuttling towards it, and they jump on top of it. And they start piling up, and it looks like they're putting out the flame with their own bodies. And so most of them just sort of lay there twitching with smoke rising, but you see a few of them
Can
scuttle
you
off.
describe the smell to me?
Am I
really
rendering?
want like paint a word picture with the smell.
Yeah, and how
Burning
on fire
Illinois
is Dr.
Jones.
Jones? Yeah.
Well, give me a luck roll, Dr. Jones.
Fuck. Okay. All right.
Thank Chuck for that.
That's fine.
Oh,
Oh my god,
Oh.
I passed.
Okay. So your eyebrows are slightly singed, but you don't take any damage from that. You do take 1 point of damage from all the bug bites. But but it's not going to be the horrible thing I was going to do to you if you'd failed. So
Perfect.
it smells kind of awful in here. All these burned, blackened scarab beetle corpses. But Dr. Jones, you would know this because you've been in Egypt for a while. Is scarab beetles don't attack people. They don't bite. That's kind of odd. Like they don't normally attack people like that. But you push off the few that were still on your face, and they scuttle away into the shadows. And you are now free to continue doing whatever you would like to do.
So there are no more beetles on me. I am beetle free.
Yes,
I'm liberated from the beetle invasion.
for the moment.
Okay.
it's like Stand By Me. There's just one, like the leeches. There's just one lingering.
Oh God, what a
in your
freaking
drawers.
scene. But
Imagine
yeah, okay.
there's no copy.
Right.
What the fuck?
He said the Beatles invasion.
I know. I didn't like the lyric you chose.
Okay, so I'm beetle free. We can see everything, and there's a pile of beetles that have extinguished a flame.
Mm-hmm.
There's a pile of beetles.
Of dead Beatles.
Okay, John, we were on fire. All right. The guy, I like how Kat cringed at my accent. It wasn't good.
Oh, Lord.
She lost a little bit of sun.
See, his is words.
Good God, man,
So-
stop.
So what are we doing?
I'm gonna go for the plaster wall because the bugs have just freaked me out, and I'm going
Okay.
for like the hole and just I'm scrabbling at it. I just want an exit now.
Yep. This one's big enough for you to walk through. It doesn't appear to be a tunnel like the other one. It just appears to be a almost person-sized hole in the plaster wall, not shaped but sized.
I'm gonna shout back to the group, and I'm gonna go this way to escape the bugs. This way, and I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna barrel in. Like there's I don't want to be in here anymore.
Okay,
It's the
so
accents, isn't it?
Yes.
so Lady Pamela just barges in. What's your light source now, Lady Pamela? Because you threw your Molotov cocktail at the bugs.
That's true. I mean, I think I'm in darkness for a moment, and then I realised that I should probably have some form of light. I'm guessing some of the firelight's coming through the wall. But I'll reach into my pocket and I'll pull out my matches and I'll light a match again.
Okay. Give me a spot hidden as you do that.
Sure. Oops. Not how you spell the 100. I got it right on the nose.
Okay, so you see what looks like some kind of torch, not like an electric torch, an actual torch. There's several of them near this sort of plaster wall, just leaning against the wall in a jar.
Ooh, can I pick one up and light it with my match?
Yeah, you can do that. So the rest of you, if you come in this direction, you'll see those as well. So if you would like to grab a torch and light it, you are welcome to do so.
Where am I at this point?
Well, you were moving towards the plaster wall. Are you still doing that?
Was I? I don't know. Last I knew,
Yes.
I was
You were-
trying to poke an alligator with a
You were fighting
Oh,
the
yes.
alligator.
All right. So you wanted to poke
but a
the
lot of
alligator
things have happened
crocodile.
since then, so
Wanted to
I'm
poke
okay
the
with-
crocodile in the eye.
Uh-huh.
Are you still going to do that? Do you want to do that just before the beetles get lit up, or
I don't know. Are we gonna have to retcon a lot of stuff when I die, or
He committed to it.
yeah? Fine.
Okay.
I'm still poking the alligator with the
Okay.
spear.
So you take the spear and you jab it into this thing's eye, and it's a very big spearhead and a very tiny eye. So you actually jam it into the thing's skull.
Sure.
And you see black oozing liquid dripping down this thing's face. And that's it.
And that's it.
And that's it.
No problem.
Then I don't
I
feel
feel
like
so
wait,
tense.
but then I don't feel like I was done.
Oh Jesus!
I
He's
mean,
just gonna test you. Rina.
if I see statue
Mhm.
and then I see liquid out of statue,
Mhm.
you know, that's gonna say,
Oh,
"Hey,
it's a mummy. It's a mummy, not
this
a
isn't
statue.
mummy,
okay." Okay, it's a mummy.
Mhm.
That's even worse then.
That's it.
Hey, does anybody just real quick, Rina, hang on one second. Hey, does anybody know how you kill a mummy? I don't actually.
well,
know.
He's gonna.
No.
Dr.
It
Baker's
doesn't have
gonna-
to be in character. Like Cup, do you know how to kill a mummy? I don't know.
Are you talking? You're talking about like just lore? How do
I thought fire was the answer.
Don't you
it
need
fire?
to like stab a book or like
Find its
Well,
dead.
it's-
Jesus
don't-
Christ.
in a
Mummies
coffin
don't like
or-
cats, so.
Mummies don't like cats. Okay,
Or
cat,
corgis.
get in here.
So as you see this black liquid trickling down, that's when you hear the fire and the screaming.
All right, fine. We'll just leave you to kill me later, alligator man. But let
See
the
you later,
record
Kill me
show.
later, alligator.
Let the record show you have some sort of disadvantage dice for melee attacks because you only have one eye now. And
That's fair.
I'm gonna say that out loud to him as I go follow them.
Okay, so Sergeant McCoy follows Lady Pamela through the plaster. Dr. Jones, Dr. Baker, are you following as well?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, can Dr. Baker do one thing when that
Yeah.
Molotov cocktail lit up the whole room? Can
Mhm.
he just see if there's any interesting hieroglyphics or anything on the walls?
With your fucking hieroglyphics.
Well, I mean, he's not going to be able to miss it, right? That's what
Yeah.
he's attracted to.
You don't really see anything in here. I mean, there's probably some other things that have hieroglyphs on them, especially cartouches and things like that. But you'd have to go looking for them. You don't really see anything on the
No.
walls.
I think at this point he's going to scoot. He's going to leave. Yeah.
Okay. So you go through this plaster, and there's a smaller tunnel, kind of like the one you came in through, but it's not as long. The air is very cold in here. You don't know if that's because you're moving deeper underground or what, but it is definitely colder in here. And you see another room up ahead of you. There's no weird hieroglyphs on the entryway. There's no plaster. It just appears to be an open room.
I
Can
think
you go in?
Yeah. I think if it's colder, we may be getting towards fresh air. That is my logic. However, that's not how it works.
Is that how that works?
But
That's not how it works at all. Pamela
That's how
does not understand physics.
that's how Lady Pamela's logic works.
Yes.
How's the weather in November in Egypt? I need to look it up.
So as you move into this other room, it appears to be a cave of some kind, and you see hundreds of these little statues or jars all across the room. They're all of different sizes. Some of them are almost as big as you are. Some of them are tiny, like only about 6 inches tall. And they're just standing all around the room in rows. Some of them look like they have human-shaped clay heads. Some of them look like they have animal heads. Some of them just have wax coverings on them. You can see them all over the room. You see on the back wall what looks like a painting or a mural of some kind with some hieroglyphs and some. It's hard to see what's on it from this far away, but the colors are really bright and fresh. And it's really eye-catching in a way. It kind of draws your attention across this room full of tiny statues. And then off to your right, you see an altar. That's the only way to describe it, really. It is a stone altar inlaid with gems and silver. And hanging above it is an upside-down ankh. An ankh is a cross with a loop at the top. It's an Egyptian symbol. And it's hanging upside down. It appears to be gold, and there's little wavy tendrils coming out of it. And as your eyes follow out, yes.
Can you expand on little wavy tendrils coming out of it?
Are they waving? Are they like done?
Are they made
as a
of clay? Are they made of energy?
They're made of gold. They're made of gold. Yeah.
Are they
it's
actively
kind of like
waving?
like a child's drawing of the sun, with squiggly lines. That's what it looks like. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
And
Wait,
as
that's
your
how
eye,
I draw the sun.
your eye follows that down, you see a huddled figure laying at the base of this altar. So,
is this figure moving?
It is not.
There.
First off, Dr. Jones, would you like to give me an archaeology roll?
That was exactly what I was about to ask you.
He is horny for archaeology rolls.
Dr. Jones, have you seen anything like this before?
I'm going to tell you in about 5 seconds after I fail. Oh, I got
shit,
a fucking 5.
Wow.
Damn.
Okay.
Roll 20 says what's up.
So you recognize that this room with full of these statues are called Shabti. And you know that these are little figures that would be designed as servants in the afterlife for a pharaoh, for someone important. The belief was that they would come to life in the underworld, and they would serve the pharaoh or the priest or whoever they were meant for. So they're representative of servants, and there are hundreds of them in here. So whoever was buried in here needed basically an army of servants in the afterlife.
We gonna die.
Okay.
Yep. So this is a Shabti room. So you have this floor full of these little statues of different sizes. You have this mural with the hieroglyphs on the back wall. You have the altar with the huddled figure and the ankh. What would you like to do?
I'd like to take out of my bag a little ankh myself, which I got in Cairo, which is my little protection symbol. and kind of go up to the altar and the huddled figure and kind of it's like I'm comparing the two, trying to be, you know, like a scholar, and obviously show my intelligence and stuff, and kind of be interested in the archaeology of it. I have no idea what I'm doing, but yeah, I'm just going to hold it up and kind of walk towards the altar and the figure and see what I can see about that weird huddled shape.
Okay.
McCoy is going next to her, gun drawn, at the huddled figure.
Okay.
As Dr. Jones explains everything you just said to the group, he pulls out his cross that he keeps with him and just starts holding on to it, shaking a little bit.
Okay.
And since we're all explaining what we're doing, Dr. Baker is pulling out his archaeology field guide to see if he can find one intelligent thing to say to impress Dr. Jones.
Are the two of you just standing in the entryway? Are you moving into the room? Do you want to look at the hieroglyphs? Do you want to look at the Ankh? What do you want to do?
I tell Pam that yes, they're both statuettes.
I'm going to look at the hieroglyphs, but I think it's going to be after I look through the archaeology guide.
Okay. So you can look through your archaeology guide while Lady Pamela and Sergeant McCoy move over towards the altar. Dr. Jones, what are you doing?
I'm following Lady Pam and Sergeant McCoy.
Okay. So you move over towards this altar, and you do see that the altar is, as you thought when you first entered, literally encrusted with gems. There is an unpleasant, dark sort of stain on the top that kind of catches your attention. And the second thing you notice as you come up closer is that this upside down Ankh, it just appears to be hanging there. There's nothing suspending it from the ceiling. You can't see anything attaching it to the altar. It's just hanging there. So that's weird. And
my goodness, it's some kind of magic trick. Maybe something to do with mirrors or an illusion.
It's got to be some kind of illusion or something. And that guy just well hung Ankh in the chat, which distracted me.
Sanity.
Dr. Bones 412. Nice.
Very well done. Can I roll archaeology on that one too? Just give me all archaeology rolls.
Nothing else, yeah.
Yeah, you could give me an archaeology roll. It might tell you something.
Who just rolled? Chuck just rolled a 330.
Oh yeah, sorry.
What the heck?
That was my 5D100. I got distracted.
Oh dear.
Okay, well, I'm gonna use three luck on that archaeology roll and see what we can glean from that.
Okay, so first thing you know is that this sort of setup with the altar is not normal for Egyptian culture. This kind of altar is not their thing at all, really. You've never seen anything like this. The second thing you know is that the Ankh, which is normally a protection symbol, is a symbol of life when it's the right way up. So that tells you, if you're looking at an inverted Ankh, you're probably looking at something else. You've never
That's not
seen
how tarot cards work, is it?
You've never seen an Ankh with little wavy tendrils, though. That's completely new and weird to you. But that is what you glean from that archaeology roll.
Do the tendrils have suckers on them?
They do not.
Good.
Can I lean underneath it over the altar and look up to see if I can see any kind of chain?
Yeah, really get in there.
Wires or
Face right underneath it.
Okay, give me a dexterity roll, Lady Pamela, as you're doing that.
Let's have a look. Oh Lord, Lady Pamela, you are not dexterous. Too many
for
fine
initiative.
tea cakes, I think.
Yeah, you're pretty dexterous.
Ouch.
What am I? Oh, yes, that's underneath. Is it?
That's
No,
No,
it's not.
That's not.
No.
That's nowhere
way.
near.
I was
gonna
Sorry,
say,
nowhere
I
near.
read it was 58, and then I was like, oh no, it's 85.
Walking around with 90
Yeah.
decks.
I can't even save that with I
Okay.
can save that with a lot of luck, but no.
So
90
you
decks like she's in Cirque du Soleil.
Right.
So you crane yourself under it to see if you can see if something's holding it up, and you start to slip a little bit with this awkward positioning. So you have to put your hand out to steady yourself, and when you do, you touch the Ankh. And it is cold. It is so cold. It is colder than anything has any right to be. You can feel it almost sort of burning into the palm of your hand. And I'd like you to make me a power roll.
Okay.
You get stuck to it like a Christmas story.
I double dog dare you to touch the Ankh.
Yikes.
Wow.
Oh. So first off, I'd like you to lose 4 sand.
Naturally.
Bye.
That's not bad.
As you touch the Ankh and as you feel this unnatural, horrible cold in your skin, you start shaking and you start convulsing, and it's like you can't let go of this Ankh. So Dr. Jones and Sergeant McCoy, you see Lady Pamela just put her hand out on the Ankh and then grip it, and then she starts shaking and convulsing. And Lady Pamela, as
she's been saved, is what you're saying.
Yes, she's having a religious experience,
And I'm like this.
because Lady Pamela, you are out in the void. You find yourself surrounded by stars, and then you look down and you see that you're on this barren, arid wasteland. You're floating above an arid wasteland of some planet. It doesn't look like Earth, but it's cold, it's red, it's horrible. And as you look up, you feel your body sort of tense and shake and convulse, and you see a figure, and it's just sort of floating in the air above the ground, and it's got this headdress that looks very Egyptian to you. It looks like what you've seen pharaohs wear in art, and it's holding a crook and flail like pharaohs do, but upside down. And it
totally
gilded.
looks like David Bowie otherwise.
Yes, it does look like David Bowie, but it's got this really shifting kind of face. You can't really focus on it as you're looking at it. It's like the angles of the face keep contorting, and then you see it open its mouth, and this long tongue comes rolling out as it floats. And it tilts its head and it looks at you, and you see blood trickling down its face, and it says, "You're mine now."
Oh God.
And then and then you snap into black.
I'll kind of can I let go of the Ankh now?
You come to, and you are still holding it, and it is still cold, but you're not convulsing.
Cool.
What did I say about touching artifacts?
I'll snatch my hand away, and I'm physically shaking, and like I have the torch, and I've like pulled it as close as possible. I look kind of like, where's the exit? How do we get out of here?
Well, you're not going to do that again, are you?
So while that's happening, Dr. Baker, what are you doing?
I'm putting my pamphlet away, and I'm going to just take a look around the room to see if there are any interesting hieroglyphics.
You do see that what looks like a mural at the back of the room, so you could kind of pick your way through all these Shabti figurines to get back there. You do see some hieroglyphs running along the edge if you'd like to do that.
Yeah, just kind of clumsily walking over these things to get there. Yeah.
Okay. So you pick your way through, and you knock a couple of them over.
No, I didn't want to knock them over. I just wanted to. I just wanted to survive.
Give me a dex roll then, if you're intentionally trying not to knock any of them over.
Oh, good. Is this a dex that could help me or kill me? Okay, I am going to try to not disturb them because I want to sell them later. That's a success.
Ooh.
Oh. Okay, so you manage to gingerly pick your way through all of these little figurines. You don't knock any of them over. You do notice that a couple of them have already been knocked over. Not by you. They're just knocked over. So someone came through here before, it appears. But you make your way through to the back of the room, and you see this massive mural. It covers 2 walls almost. And your eyes are kind of drawn to it because the colors are so bright and fresh. It almost looks like they were painted just yesterday. There's none of this kind of fading and cracking that you saw in the paintings in that first hallway that you came in, and nothing like you've seen in pictures or on other artifacts. These are bright and clear, and so they're really easy for you to pick out. And so as you look at the first part of the mural. And what you see is a little strange. because you see what looks like a pharaoh. So you see the typical 2 crowns of Egypt with the crook and the flail. But his crook and flail are upside down. That's the first thing that strikes you as a little weird. And then you notice he's dark, like so dark that you can't even call it black, but that's the only word you can use to describe it because of how dark it is. And that's very, very strange. And then you notice that he's just sort of standing guard. You follow his gaze. And there's this set of scales. And one set of scales, one side of it is holding an anatomically correct human heart. And then you see on the other side, where you would know would normally be the feather of truth, the feather of Ma'at, is a bunch of animal corpses. There's a cat, there's a crocodile, there's a lion, there's a falcon. There's all sorts of animals on this scale. And you see a kneeling human figure like prostrated in front of it. And the scales are equal. And that's the first thing that you notice. And that's a little strange because what are they weighing here? And then you follow naturally the pharaoh's gaze around the other part of the mural as you're looking for more of these hieroglyphs. And the colors start to kind of shift in your brain, Dr. Baker. It's almost like they're moving a bit as you're looking at this mural. And what you see is this pharaoh again with the upside down crook and flail. And he's standing in a chariot on a cliff, and he's looking over a plain. And you see what looks like a city, an Egyptian city, but it's no city that you've ever heard of. This isn't Memphis. This isn't Thebes. It's not Cairo. It's some city made all of white. And it appears to be on fire. There are tendrils of smoke and flame. And as you look at it, it's almost like they're leaping up at you out of the picture. You can almost smell the smoke. You can almost hear the crackling of the flames. And then you feel like you can almost hear screaming. And as you keep looking through this mural, you see humanoid figures running through the streets of this city as it sort of focuses in on the city itself. And you see Egyptians, you see Nubians, you see people of multiple ethnicities just sort of running through the streets and screaming. You see terrified pain on their faces. And then you see what's chasing them. And you see these figures, they're human with the heads of animals, and there's animals with the heads of humans, and there's things that are just angles that don't make sense. They shouldn't be real. Your brain can't quite make sense of them, but it's trying to bring them into this reality, and you can't quite do it, and it makes your head hurt so much. But they are chasing these figures, and it's almost like you could see this as it's happening. You can see them tearing people apart, and you can see them pulling the intestines out of one person as they scream in agony. You can almost hear it in your head. And then you see someone else's head being just completely ripped off clean. And you can hear the bones breaking in your mind as you're looking at this. And you just see all of this carnage and this chaos. And then the scene kind of shifts, or maybe it's just that you've looked off to the side a bit more. You can't really tell at this point. And you see this pharaoh in his chariot, and this chariot is being pulled by these big burly humans with the heads of animals through the streets of the city. And you can hear the wheels crunching over skulls and bones as this pharaoh stands in triumph in the ruins of this city. And then you see his head turn, and his eyes look at you. And he smiles. Give me a sanity roll.
Yes. I might need to give you a real life sanity roll. Okay.
You okay, Rina?
That was very vivid.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that was great.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
Okay. 91 is
Roll
not gonna
20, man.
Now
gonna
pass your
happen.
intelligence roll.
Okay, so yes, so it's gonna be okay, so that's 5 sand, So give me that intelligence roll as your brain is trying not to cope with this.
Can he still hear the music in his head?
Oh, yes.
All the power roll fails along with this painting. I don't feel like my character's doing well. I passed my intelligence check. Of course I did.
We've all played this.
My
enough
first
to know what
pass
that
is on an
means.
intelligence check for a sand roll. Great.
Okay, so you
3d6
understand.
penalty.
You understand what you've been seeing, Dr. Baker. You understand how awful this is and how horrible this is that you're looking at this. And you cannot deal with this right now. You need to get as far away from the things that you're seeing as possible. And why can you see things? It's because of the light, isn't it? The light is what's showing you all of these horrible things. It just showed you the beetles, and it showed you this, and if you get away from light, you'll be safe. So what do you do?
All right. If it's convenient, so I'm going to leave this room back the way we came, but I'd like to extinguish any light that's easy enough to get to on my way out, if I can. I know.
Well, you'd have to go up to them to put out their lights because they're off to the side.
Too frantic for that, I think. He's just going to run out. Yeah.
Okay. So you put out your torch. And so the rest of you, as you've just dealt with Lady Pamela having a seizure, and all of a sudden you hear a scream and you see Dr. Baker running into a hallway, muttering something about the light, get away from the light, the light.
Yeah. Put out the lights. And then I'm gone. I'm fucking out of here.
Lights out. So,
yeah.
While that was happening, because it takes you a few minutes, Dr. Baker, to look at this mural. It's a few minutes of being sort of lost in this. Dr. Jones and Sergeant McCoy, you've seen this huddled figure in front of the altar, and Lady Pamela, now that you've come out of your seizure, you see this as well. And what you see is a brown jacket, a leather jacket, a fedora, and khaki trousers, and a long skeletal arm sticking out of the jacket, reaching towards the altar. And laying next to that arm is a leather satchel. What would you like to do?
Bullwhip.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So, actual Indiana Jones is here, dead, trying to get things. I am going to slowly approach the huddled figure. And see if I can take that hat off. I'm going to say hello, knowing that there's a skeletal hand, and I'm not expecting a response, but we've seen some things.
You say hello, you pick up the hat, and there is a skull.
Okay, good. That's actually what I would prefer that was. Relatively speaking, I mean. Okay, so the satchel is where?
I was going for the satchel.
Yeah. So the skeletal
but answer
arm,
my question. Where's
the skeletal arm is stretched out towards the altar, and the satchel is laying at the end of the hand.
Like hanging from the hand?
Next to it. It's not hanging from it.
Okay. So he's trying to put the satchel on the altar, and then he died.
Yeah, well, you're putting that together. I'm gonna go grab
Dr.
that
Jones, shall we think this through before you just start grabbing things?
You just grabbed a hat. Don't lecture me.
So, Dr. Jones,
this isn't an artifact.
You pick up the satchel. Do you
and
open
now
it?
we're all dead. Thanks.
Do you open
Not
it?
yet. I'm not putting it on the fucking altar.
No. Do you open it?
Yeah. Do you open it, Wes? Do you open it now?
Of course, I open it.
First, give me a luck roll.
Oh well.
I'm distant, I feel. I think I've made some progress.
I bombed the luck roll.
Okay.
Roll 20 gave you something over an 80? Interesting.
Yeah, no kidding. It's very rare.
So as you open the satchel, a scorpion scuttles up your arm out of the bag. And yes, it's just you and the bugs. And you feel a sharp stinging pain as it just seems to be startled, and it stings into your hand. So take 2 points of damage for that.
What? Like 100 beetles gave me 1. All right. All right, I'm at 7 now. I'm just gonna die.
I'm gonna chip my tooth
so-
laughing at that.
It stings your hand and then scuttles up your shoulder and then down your back and disappears. So
Disappears off me or in me?
Good question. Good
Off
question.
you.
Important question.
Make
you
him
feel
roll
it's-
luck again
you
since he
feel it's-
asked.
you feel it scuttling
Fuck
all the
you.
way down your leg and disappearing.
Okay.
I think upon seeing a scorpion and also what I've seen on the Ankh and also Thomas Baker running away in fear, I'm just going to turn around with my torch, barrel through the clay pots and just try and find an exit.
Okay.
I'm like,
Oh.
don't want to be here anymore. I'm going. I'm leaving. There's no point. I don't like it. It's horrible.
So are you
How
going
many
back to the main room you just came from?
I think I'm looking for an exit from this room that
Okay.
isn't the way that we've come from. If there
Okay.
not one, then I'll go backwards.
Okay. So you knock over a bunch of these clay pots, and just sort of shatter them. These little statues too, as well. You break a bunch of these little Shabti figurines, and you feel a kind of like cold waft of air as you do so. But you don't see another exit. There is only the room you came from.
Okay, I'll go in with my torch after Dr. Baker.
Dr.
Yes, Chuck.
Sergeant McCoy officially is done with all of them and is making his way for that other opening.
There-
is-
there-
He's reading the writing on the walls with these three, and he's fucking done.
there's no other opening. It's just the way you came in.
I thought you said that there was like a
Mm-mm.
plaster wall.
That's what you came through.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said there
Mhm.
was another one.
Nope, just the one.
Okay.
So while Sergeant McCoy is trying to figure out his life options, Dr. Jones, you look in this satchel now that you've dealt with the scorpion. You find a water skin of some kind. Appears to have a little bit of liquid in it. You find a passport. It appears to be German. You find a leather-bound diary with the name Sasha Karner embossed on it. And you find a stick of dynamite.
Okay.
Yes.
Can I use my library use or language skills to read the diary real fast?
Do you have German?
No, I have Arabic. I do not
I
have
feel like
German.
there's a house rule at Ain't Slay Nobody that whenever someone calls for library use, you have to accommodate them.
Yeah, I've got good library use. Let me.
It is so rarely requested that you almost have to honor the request.
Well, since
But
our
if they
only,
succeed, don't give them anything.
since our only German speaker is running away in a bout of madness, I will let you make a library use roll, and if it's a good one, I might let you figure it out.
All right, roll 20. I don't like you, and you don't like me. So
Better get
let's.
extreme.
No, well, 99 critical fail. That's awesome.
Is
Great.
your library use below 50?
No, my library use is 50.
Okay, so it's not a fumble. It's not a fumble. But you flip through the journal and it is written in German and you don't speak German. Like you can just pick out the name Sasha Karner a few times. And that's you pick out an English name as well. And you find this name a couple times. It's Gerald Sutton. You can read that. And you read Suez, but that's all you can pick out.
Can I stick the dynamite in my mouth, light it, and die?
Rina,
Well,
is there another wall in this room that looks like it might
Yeah, you want to? I
towards
read you.
outside?
You want to go Zelda, right? You want to place a bomb?
It is all stone in here.
That wasn't my question. Like, do any of them look like maybe there's some way out on the other side of that wall? Dynamite blows up stone. I know. I know that much.
Do you have any archaeology?
You know I don't. Well, I assume I don't. Let's just assume I don't.
Hmm.
Have
I've
a
got
conversation.
1%.
So while you're trying to figure out a way out, there isn't one from that room. Dr. Baker, you have run into the main room in the dark, muttering, "Put out the light! Put out the light!" What are you trying to do?
I'm just trying to get as far away from light as I can, and just kind of like running until I run into something or until I see light that I need to put out, like a torch following me.
Well, there is still the smoldering remains of that pile of beetles, so you can probably just sort of kick those over and knock them out.
I'm gonna actually throw my jacket on them if I can.
Okay, so you throw your jacket over the smoldering beetles, and you can go hide in a corner, crouch up against a wall, if that's what you would like to do.
No, I think he's gonna try to run in darkness toward the slab, like to the best he can. Yeah.
So you're gonna try to get into the tunnel to go back to the slab.
The exit the slab, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so you're doing this in complete darkness in a room full of stuff. So the rest of you hear a clang, 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 ow, clang, crash.
Watch it.
It's going to take you a bit. So maybe in a minute I'll let you make a roll for that.
Sure.
Lady Pamela comes running in, screaming behind you, waving a torch.
I'm gonna go for the 2 statues and the slab. I'm gonna go for that, and I'm just gonna try and push the slab. Like, I want to see if I can move out the way.
Okay, so you go up, you start pushing on the slab, and as you're up against the slab, you can see that they have the same symbols that you saw on the slab in the hallway that you came in. They are covering it from top to bottom, and you just sort of push ineffectively against this slab. So all of you in both rooms, you suddenly hear thump, thump.
Sebastian.
Yeah, Sebastian.
Where's it coming from?
What room am I in?
You're still in the room with the little statues and the corpse.
Yeah, you and I are at the altar. They're in the treasure room. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I
Okay.
want to go back to the treasure room.
Okay.
Sebastian's like Gozer now, just a giant corgi.
Right.
Okay,
who brought the dog?
Just one note, Rina, and it may not be time for this yet, but I think as Baker sees Lady Pamela run to that slab with the torch, he's immediately going to take his shirt off now and try to go smother that flame.
I'm gonna hit him with the torch. Like, get off!
You might not need to roll for that. I'm not a strong man.
So Dr. Baker is now shirtless and is trying to put out your torch.
I'm gonna wave the fire at him and hit him with the torch because I don't want him to put it out, and he's accosting me. So yeah, I'm gonna hit him with the flaming torch. Back off, man!
I don't mind being hit with the torch. I just want to put it out.
Hey, Baker, real quick, can you tell me on your character sheet what your appearance score is?
Can I roll to add to that?
I just need to know when you take your shirt off, how good is it?
It's my highest characteristic at 60, actually.
Okay.
It is not your highest. Your education is your highest.
I missed education.
We're all quite comfortable with you taking your shirt off.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean,
it's pretty good, honestly.
He doesn't go outside, but he does do crunches in the office.
You got a recommendation for a trainer?
He's got a 6-pack. It's a pasty 6-pack, but it's still a 6-pack.
Very pasty, yes.
So as you two are sort of fighting over the torch, you hear this thump, thump, thumping noise. And it's sort of echoing around the cavern. Sergeant McCoy comes running back in. Dr. Jones, are you following him?
You should stay alone.
I think I'm following him.
Okay, so you follow him back into the treasure room, and it sounds like it's coming from behind this stone slab.
The Lady Pamela stone slab?
Yep.
The one with the alligator statue on it.
Yep.
Extinguish the torch. Put the light out. Are you crazy?
No. It must be the exhibition. It must be the exhibition. Oh my god. The expedition team. Must be the expedition. They found us. They're digging for us quickly. And I'm gonna try and get my nails. I'm gonna drop the torch on the floor and try and get my nails around the slab and try and pull it free.
I'm throwing my naked torso on top of the torch to put the light out.
Okay, so first off, you're gonna take 2 points of damage from the fire.
All right.
Your appearance has dropped by 5.
I'll note that.
It's a lot of burn scars.
in case this is a recurring character.
I
although
would
don't
like
think
to
that's
grab.
likely.
I would like to grab that torch.
Mm-hmm. So you're gonna try and grab it away from under his body.
Yep.
I
Okay.
extinguished it, right? I took damage for
I
that.
still want it.
Okay.
Okay. So you can pull the now unlit torch from away from him. So Dr. Jones is just coming through the door. Sergeant McCoy, Dr. Baker, Lady Pamela, you are all up close to this slab. And then all of a sudden you hear this loud roar and the slab lifts from the
Shit.
bottom. It just lifts. And there's a split second of dark and cold. And then there's a smell. And it smells like rotting meat. And that hits you first. And then your eyes sort of blink and adjust. And you look up and you see this massive 8-foot tall man. Well, I say man, but it doesn't take you very long to realize that's not a man. You do see
It's
a
space
big-
station.
you do see a big, glistening, oily chest with
It is a dream.
a low kilt. But then you realize that it's oily because there's pus and oozing sores covering
Just
its
like I like
torso
'em.
and its shoulders.
Uh-huh.
And you see these two big, muscular arms wielding a massive khopesh. And then your eyes go
Kopesh
up,
is
curved Egyptian sword.
okay.
And then your eyes follow it up, and you see the massive head of a yellow wolf with big, beady eyes and a huge, slavering jaw, and these same oozing pustules all over its face. You see black ichor trickling down its fur, and you see saliva dripping out of its mouth as it.
I'm
and it-
going to push
drips.
Dr. Baker in front of me.
well, first you're all
There
going
you
to make me a SAN roll.
Oh,
Oh,
dearie.
shit ass. Okay.
Ooh,
Oh, I
somebody
passed.
I failed. You can't spin luck on a sand roll,
I
huh?
also
Oh,
failed.
I rolled a 9. I've passed.
Okay, so if you passed, you take 2 SAN loss. And if you fail, so who failed? Is it Cat and
Me.
Cat and Wes? Of course. So Wes, you're going to lose 5.
hmm
And Lady Pamela, you're going to lose 3. So Dr. Jones, why don't you go ahead and give me that intelligence roll?
I passed.
Of course you did.
Okay. So Dr. Jones,
No, wait. Okay, good. I almost did really well, but
okay,
just outside.
but you still
Okay.
passed. Okay, so
Mhm.
Dr. Jones, you see this hideous creature coming towards you, and you realize just how awful this is.
Yeah.
Dr. Jones, this is your chance. You can be a hero, Dr. Jones. You can be the hero you never got to be. Maybe your father will finally be proud of you. If you can stop this thing, if you can take this thing down, you'll be the greatest hero there ever was.
I know what I'm doing. Dr. Jones looks at the stick of dynamite, looks at the torch, and looks at the monster, lights the dynamite, and hucks it at the monster's face.
Okay.
What am I rolling to do this?
me a
Please
throw
don't say
roll.
fighting brawl.
Give me a throw
What?
roll.
A throw roll.
Yes.
Let me see what I have for throw
It's
before I
not
do
going to be
this.
great.
It's 20. This will go well.
Mhm.
I'm doing it. I don't give a shit. No, hang on. I'm spending luck like a motherfucker. Yeah, I'm gonna spend 12 luck to succeed there. So I did.
Okay.
There.
So you throw it and it rolls up right between this thing's feet. And it doesn't seem to notice. So I'm going to roll something. Okay. So you see Dr. Jones throw this stick of dynamite. It rolls up between the creature's feet. But that's the least of your worries right now, because it is swinging down at the people right in front of it. So
Can I make an administrative note before you kill me?
Run away!
well, Dr. Baker's on the ground because he threw himself on top of the torch. So the people who are standing are Lady Pamela and Sergeant McCoy. What admin note would you like to make, Cuppy?
That I've lost over 1/5 of my starting sand. So I think I'm in a bout as well. Yeah.
Oh.
I'm definitely in a bout.
Oh, if you lose 1/5.
If you lose 1/5 in a single day.
Sanity.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do with that then. Dr. Baker, you see this thing and you start back, like you scramble back in fear and you make eye contact with it. And I'd like you to give me a power roll with a penalty die.
Oh, gee. I haven't passed one yet, and you're going to give me a penalty die?
Because this chanting is getting louder in the back of your head.
Oh, boy. All right. Oh, the first one's good. All right, let's see. So I have a 5, and now I need a low number. For fuck's sake.
75.
I did not pass.
Okay. So, Dr. Baker, you make eye contact with this thing as you sort of scrabble back and you hear this chanting in the back of your head, and you find yourself saying these words.
Mm-hmm.
As this chanting gets louder and louder and louder, you hear yourself chanting, "Hail to the Black Pharaoh, the subjugator of man. Hail to the bringer of wisdom, the messenger of the old ones. Hail to the Lord undying, the many-masked one." You just start chanting this. And the rest of you hear him chanting in something that sounds like maybe Egyptian. But this thing's eyes like sort of glint at you, Dr. Baker, and it tilts its head and like it's interested. And then you hear in your head, "Mine."
Only the
Kill the
Oh, sorry.
kill the unbelievers.
Oh no.
Not
checking my inventory.
And Dr. Baker, you have seen the priest of God. This is God's priest, and God's priest is telling you to kill the unbelievers.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens on your turn, because we're about to move into Dex order as soon as this thing gets a swipe at somebody. So, Lady Pamela and Sergeant McCoy, give me a luck roll to see who gets attacked.
Oh shit! I got a 97. That's a fumble.
Okay, so
every time I've rolled luck, I've fumbled.
So it is going to try to basically smush you, Sergeant McCoy.
In what fashion? With a foot?
It's reaching down with one big massive hand.
Big flat hand. I can make that.
You can attempt to dodge or fight back. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna dodge.
Okay.
Because Cup never lets me do that, so I just want to see what it's like. I've
Even
literally never been allowed to dodge before.
You have been allowed twice, and you failed both of them.
Oh, okay.
I am the keeper of the
Rina knows. Yeah.
Well, do I roll that?
Yes.
Okay.
So roll your dodge.
Okay, I dodged.
Okay. Is that a success for you?
I succeeded. A success.
Okay.
I successioned.
Oof. So bad news for you, Sergeant. I got a hard success.
Okay.
Ouch.
Yes.
Can I push and dodge?
You cannot push combat rolls.
I figured not.
So this thing's massive hand comes down and it grabs you. And I am going to, let's see. Oh yeah. Okay. So I'm going to roll this on roll 20.
Uh-oh. It must be a big roll.
What's going on? What are we doing?
You take 9 points of damage as it reaches down and crushes your rib cage.
Sure.
It is now clutching you in one hand. That is more than half of your hit points. So please give me a constitution roll to see if you stay conscious.
Okay. That's a fail unless I can luck it.
You can spend luck.
Oh, well then clearly I will. So that'll be 7 more luck down to 28.
Okay.
Whoops.
20.
So your lungs are crushed. You can barely breathe. And there's blood coming out of your mouth and is now gripping you. It's holding you up in the air in one massive fist. And you can smell this awful, fetid, rotten meat smell coming
It's
from
like
your
it's like a dude, right? Not like a statue or a golem.
It's a person.
Like
Or
a
it used to be,
mummy dead dude.
Oh, it's a living body. It's not mummified. It's a
Oh,
living body.
cool.
Mhm.
Okay.
All
With
right.
a yellow
So-
wolf head.
What do those eyes look like?
Wolf head.
Yeah. So
Glowing red,
they are pure black.
pure black. Okay.
Pure
like
black.
a doll's eyes.
Yes.
Don't ask too many questions. She'll make you roll power.
It's true. If I
Okay,
look at the eyes
so-
for too long.
We are now going to go into Dex order. I already have this prepared, so y'all don't have to worry about that. So the first in the order is actually Sergeant McCoy.
Okay.
What would you like to
That's
do?
really unfortunate for y'all in your decks. I'm not that great at that. Are my do I have use of my hands or am I just stuck?
You can use your hands. Your chest is being crushed as its hand moves tighter and tighter, but you do have your arms free.
Okay, how big is this hand?
Well, it's
I'm
big
just trying to
enough
get an idea of scale.
It's big enough to grip you almost completely.
You said this is an 8 foot tall.
It has massive hands.
An
Got
8-foot tall dude, but
It's a 20-foot
oh,
tall
those
camel.
hands.
Sergeant McCoy, you could actually see like marks like around the wrists as if some other being's hands have been attached to this body the same way the head was.
Is it like the hand in Smash Brothers?
I don't know what that is.
Okay, yeah, but that is what I'm picturing, Wes. The hand and smash.
Yeah.
And then it comes by and
No.
does that.
So
Yeah.
what would you like to do, Sergeant?
I would like to attempt to slice that hand off with my spear.
You can't slice something off with a spear. You could stab it. Or at least try to, but it'd be hard
It's-
from
If it's
Okay.
bladed on the edge,
I guess that depends on the length of the blade, I suppose.
you're being held in it, and a spear is long, like a good
Yeah,
5 or 6 feet.
I'm
So
counting on it.
you can't cut that close with a weapon that long. You could try to stab into the chest from where you are, but because it's such a long weapon, it's not going to work in such close range trying to cut the arm off.
can I ask,
Okay.
is that dynamite still lit underneath
still
this
lit.
thing?
Don't
Got
worry,
it.
I'm keeping
Making
track.
sure.
I'm keeping track.
All right.
Okay.
I want Chuck
Uh-huh.
to succeed at whatever he's doing here and then get blown up immediately.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I would. That would be fun.
Mhm.
I guess I'll just try and. There's not anything fun to do here, so I'm just gonna try and, I don't know, pull the fingers open so I can fall down on the dynamite.
Okay, so give me we're going to do a contested strength roll.
Okay.
That
So-
can't be good.
Yeah, his strength is 180.
Close.
I got a.
Oh,
Yeah, I
fucking
got a
roll
96,
20.
so who gives a
Well,
shit?
I got a hard
Everything that I
success.
rolled was a fail or a fumble.
I got a hard success. So you are still grappled by this thing.
Sure.
That's fair.
Would you like to try to stab it?
Or shoot it?
You'd have to drop the spear if you're going to do that. Because you don't have your gun out.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Well, I had my gun drawn when I was looking at
You-
that huddled.
You had to put it
Figure.
away because you have a torch in one hand, remember?
Yeah, the
spear.
torch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll try and stab it in the eye.
Okay. So give me a fighting brawl spear.
Fighting brawl spear. It's right there on the character sheet. That's a 93. Everything's over 90. It doesn't matter on fucking roll 20.
Is that a fumble? What's your fighting roll?
It's 70. I'm very
Okay,
good at fighting roll.
all right. So you try to stab it effectively at it. It just sort of bats it away. Like you try to stab at it and it just holds you out, kind of like, a bully, like holding an arm out against a smaller kid. The kid's trying to get closer to him. So Lady Pamela, it's now your turn. What would you like to do?
I am turning around. I am running. I'm gonna run into the. I'm gonna try and run and hide behind a pile of treasure, just hunker down, and I'm also gonna take off the bracelet and the ankh and just try and get as small as possible behind a mound, maybe just try and sort of hide essentially.
Okay. Give me a stealth roll to see if you're able to hide effectively.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's the wrong button. Sorry. Good lord.
Is that a fumble?
So my stealth is 40.
So yes, that's a fumble.
Oh.
Yeah. So you think, Lady Pamela, that you have hidden yourself so well.
I'm so hidden right now.
You're so well hidden, but your entire ass is hanging out. Your feet are sticking out from behind the pile. If anyone looks over there, they can see your butt hanging out. You think you've done so well, so you're just sort of hunkering in there. But anybody who looks in that direction is going to see you.
Like a 3-year-old playing hide and seek.
Uh-huh.
If I just freeze, no one can see me.
So Dr. Jones, I would like you to give me a power roll.
Yeah, why not?
On this, as the start of your turn.
Yeah, I'm doing it. Screw this shit. This is really.
Oh,
I passed it. That's a hard success.
nice. All right. So this chanting in the back of your head is really bothering you. You feel so uncomfortable right now, but you manage to sort of push it off. Nope, we can deal with this later. I don't have time. So what would you like to do, Dr. Jones? It is now your turn.
Well, I've already hucked a stick of dynamite at it.
You're still in your bout of heroism madness.
Can I? Okay, what are my options? All right, so Sergeant McCoy is up there in the grips of this giant-handed 8-foot tall wolf thing.
Yes.
And he has a torch.
Yes,
Yeah,
he
I
has
do.
a torch in one hand.
I also have a torch.
Yes.
Okay. So 2 torches, 1 wolf. What if we... Yeah, is there... This thing's got a kilt on, you said? You said a...
Mm-hmm.
It's a Scottish death wolf? All right.
No, an Egyptian white linen.
Right. Now I'm just being an ass. What if we... Can I run up and well, no, I don't want to do that. I threw dynamite. Can I, damn, what do I want to do?
You cannot roll archaeology.
Yeah. Can I archaeology it to death? I'll give it a lecture. Is there in this room, there were statues with one of them had a sword, right?
Yep. It's behind this thing.
Oh,
It's behind it.
Yeah, because it's come out of that past that slab. It lifted the slab and it came through.
Okay, I like Dr. Bones' idea of punching it in the dick. What if do the Van Damme thing, hit the splits and give it an uppercut. I can't get to the sword. There's nothing else in this room that would be useful to me.
Well, there's lots of things lying around. You could give me a luck roll to see what's near you.
ooh.
Yeah, hell yeah, let's do that. That'll go great. Oh yeah.
Wow. Nice.
See?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a hard success too. So what do I get?
Okay. So there
I
is
think.
lying next to you, there's a short sword. So
It
that's
is a
just sort of on top of another smaller chest of wood and gold. You could grab that. You see there's obviously the torches around. You could pick up one of these like heavier items and try and chuck it at it and do some damage that way. You have a few different options.
I want to pick up that sword.
Mm-hmm.
And like, how far away is Sergeant McCoy and the hand from
He's
me?
in the air. He's in the air. That thing. Let's see. It's
how long are its arms?
It's about. Well, it's holding it above its head. So it's. I'd say it's about 10 feet away from you right now.
Chuck,
it had to be close enough.
If I fail this, you might die. So
that's fine. I actually probably will have to run soon anyway. So
all right, then I'm gonna pick up that little sword and throw it at the hand to see if I can stick a finger
100%
to get it to let go of Chuck.
Let's do this.
Okay, give me a throw roll, and it needs to be a hard success.
A what roll?
Throw.
Damn it! All right, well here we go. And there, 19. Come on.
Do you have 9 luck?
What I get? Hold on, where is it? Yeah, I do have 9 luck. I'm gonna go ahead and pass this. Taking my luck down to 19. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry, 11.
Okay. So in your bout of heroism, you feel like you're Hercules, and you throw this sword, and it cuts this thing across the wrist, and it gets startled, and it drops you, Chuck. Sergeant McCoy, it drops you, and you fall to the ground. You take 1 point of damage for falling.
Sure. Get up and shove the dynamite up its asshole, and let's get the hell out of here.
Is it my turn? Can I shove the dynamite up the asshole?
It's not your turn yet. It is, however.
Unfortunately, it's the dynamite's turn.
It is your turn, Dr. Baker, and you feel like you need to kill the unbelievers.
Yeah, kill. Who's closest to me? I know Kat ran off to hide with Lady Pamela. And we all saw her. I know where she is.
Dr. Jones is closest to you right now.
Dr. Jones. So what I'm going to do, I'm not armed, so I think I'm going to take my pen and try to stab him in the eye with it.
Okay.
I do have a pen.
Give me a fighting brawl roll.
Somebody read his character sheet.
I did. First time for everything.
I killed you last game. This is only fair.
I mean, I don't think he's going to kill you with a pen, but
through the eye. I failed anyway.
Good.
Okay, so all of a sudden, Dr. Jones, like Dr. Baker comes up and tries, and like he's bringing a pen towards your face. You sort of twitch out of the way, and his hand goes past you, but he's looking at you, and you notice his eyes are black, pure black.
Dr. Baker, are you okay?
He asks, knowing the answer.
And Dr. Baker says, "Non-believer."
Right. So this thing is going to. It's now its turn, and because you are right there, Sergeant, it is going to try and pull your head off.
Oh, sorry, me.
Yes.
Yes.
Sergeant Pez dispenser.
So it's going to reach down with one mighty fist. Are you going to try to duck or dodge out of the way? You're going to fight back. What would you like to do?
Yeah, we'll try that dodge again.
Okay.
What do I do? I roll for that, right? Okay. I did not succeed.
Sounds like you're dead either way.
Yeah, it's fine either way.
It got an extreme.
Yeah, well, I didn't do anything anyway. I just sort of stood there.
Yeah.
Or maybe I went, huh.
So you're kind of dazed from the fall and also from your ribs being crushed, Sergeant McCoy. So you look up, you see this fist coming down towards you, and you're not quite able to duck out of the way because you're sort of swaying, and it grabs you, and there's this mighty crunch as it pulls your head off of your shoulders.
That makes
and then
sense.
Dr. Jones, you see Sergeant McCoy's head go flying across the room, and then you watch as this creature lifts the body of Sergeant McCoy up to its mouth and takes a huge bite out of his midsection. And there is blood dripping down its face. You see Sergeant McCoy's intestines hanging down from his headless corpse. And his body is just sort of limp as this thing goes crunch. And I'd like you to give me a sanity roll for seeing this, please.
Chuck, could you give us a Constitution roll to see if you're
Wes, you're muted.
I'll give you a Constitution roll to see if my intestines stay in one piece or if they're stringing out everywhere.
Don't worry, Sergeant McCoy. It's gonna be all right.
Rolled an 18. What was I rolling for?
Sanity.
Sanity. I passed it.
Okay, so you only lose 1 point of sanity for seeing this.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
So we are now back to the top of the order. Sergeant McCoy, rest in peace. You see his head just sort of rolling across the floor off into the darkness somewhere. It is now Lady Pamela's turn.
I think my hiding place is spectacular, but I don't know. After having heard whatever I just heard, I'm gonna kind of on hands and knees crawl towards the hole in the wall that led back to the statue room, and I'm kind of gonna try and get through the hole, and then I'm gonna kind of on my hands and knees kind of crawl towards where I think the altar is, like feel around and try and like hide behind it.
Okay, so you're going back towards the interior of the temple.
Yes, yeah, where the axe was.
Yeah,
that's where I'm aiming for.
Okay, give me a stealth roll. Sergeant McCorpse.
Peace, Chuck. I just kicked him out.
Okay.
Come on.
97.
Seriously.
Is that another fumble?
Yeah, that is a fumble.
Okay.
Jesus.
So Dr. Jones, you hear a clang, crash as things are being knocked over behind you. Lady Pamela, give me a luck roll.
Okay.
Oh, God, it's going to be 100.
Come on, roll 20. Don't let me down.
Yeah, that's better.
What is my luck, actually? My luck is 40. Sorry.
No.
Spend luck. Spend luck.
You can't spend luck on
I
luck.
know it was a joke.
Oh, well, fuck me then.
So you as you're crawling, Lady Pamela, and you're knocking things over in your blind panic trying to get out of here, you bump into something and you hear a crash. And then you feel these little tickling sensations crawling up your arms.
Beetles.
Yeah.
Dr. Jones and Dr. Baker, you both hear a scream.
And I'm just going to stand up and try and wipe them off.
So Dr. Baker, you now know where Lady Pamela is.
Yay.
Dynamite still lit, still running out. So next up is Dr. Jones. Don't worry, I rolled for it. I'll let you know.
Did you roll for my bout of madness? How long that's going to last?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
You failed the power roll. It's going to be a while.
Okay, I understand.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Jones, what are you doing? You're muted.
I know. I was talking to my dog.
Sebastian.
Sebastian, no.
My dog is getting antsy. Let's see. Okay, so she's making noise. You've just tried to stab me with a pin. Sergeant McCoy is in 2 pieces being eaten. Okay. And the dynamite has yet to explode. Are we serious?
It's still going down.
Oh God. Okay.
This is all happening very fast.
I'm not hanging on to this character, am I? What if
be a hero?
Oh God. What if I point at the let me check one stat.
That's cheating.
I want to see if I have any kind of persuasion. I do. Okay.
Persuasion. Okay.
Wait, you got to listen to me, Dr. Baker. What if I convince Dr. Baker that the wolf monster is a non-believer, and I get him to go hold the dynamite up and present himself as an offering to it?
Okay, give me a hard persuade. And Cuppy, you can combat that with power.
Okay.
If you would like to.
I'm so good at power.
Oh, well.
I
failed
allowed
anyway,
to roll power. Doesn't matter.
Okay. So Dr. Baker, Dr. Jones is just telling you that you need to kill God's high priest. which is just nonsense.
He's not God's high priest. He's lying to you, Baker.
Yeah. Are there any weapons around that I could use to kill Dr. Jones?
Bye.
Or could I stuff the dynamite in his mouth or anything like that?
No, see,
I'm just asking questions.
It would
I
have
wanna know
gone
my
off
options.
by now.
I just want to know my options.
Well, I don't think you can try to stuff the dynamite in his mouth. That's a little crazy.
Okay. Well, I'm in a bout of madness, you know.
But just to explain, with dynamite rules, you roll to see how many rounds it's going to be before it explodes. I have made that roll, and when we hit the number of rounds, it will go off. But this is an actual rule, so I'm not bullshitting you guys. Like this is an actual thing. So it hasn't gone off yet. You could try to grab it, Dr. Baker, and hold on to it. There's also like furniture and a few other like odds and ends, clay pots around you could try to hit him with. But you can't shove it in his mouth. He's not going to stand there for that.
It felt right. I didn't know how far I was away from the dynamite.
For the right money.
Is there anything like any remnant pieces of Sergeant McCoy I could use as a weapon, or any of his items on the ground?
I like that.
Give me a luck roll to see if he dropped his gun.
His leg. Oh, okay.
Well,
I was hoping for intestine choke, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think the beast is happily chowing down on
passed
it.
that with an extreme
Shit
success.
ass.
So you look over and you see Sergeant McCoy's gun on the ground.
Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna pick that up and as close range as I can get. I'm gonna.
Yep. So
aim
you're gonna
for
get a
Jones's
bonus die
head.
because you're right up next to him.
Yeah, I just want to go right at the head here.
I want to
And
dodge.
This is just a
can't
firearms
dodge
roll,
a
right?
gun.
Totally dodge a gun. Watch
Well,
a
my
Bruce Lee
firearms is
movie.
low, so you have a decent chance. Oh boy, that's a success.
Fuck
A hard
me.
success.
That's an extreme. Is that an extreme?
It's hard. I have 20 at
Okay.
the base. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, can I
all right.
use luck to make that extreme?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I want to do. I'm gonna use
Okay. Because
5 points of luck.
I'll let you roll dodge, Dr. Jones.
All
But
right.
you have to get an extreme or better.
Yeah, I know. 94, so I did real good.
Cass, you roll 20.
I thought I was gonna make
Okay,
it.
so that's going to be an impale. Well, not impale, but max damage plus damage. So that's going to do minimum 8 damage. So roll another d8, Cuppy.
It doesn't matter. I'm already dead then.
Oh,
I
you're
have
dead?
7. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So Dr. Baker, you just blew his brains out.
Just for how far the brains go. Okay, that's a 6.
Okay. So Dr. Jones, your brains just splatter everywhere. And Lady Pamela, your ears are ringing as you hear the gun go off. And Dr. Jones, do you have any last words as you see this gun coming up to your head?
Oh God.
Father, forgive me.
And
I
your
assume you mean
brains,
you're dead.
Yeah.
your brains are splattered all over the ground. So it's this thing's turn, and it looks down at you, Dr. Baker, and it nods. And it turns to look over at Lady Pamela. You're gonna hate me, Wes. The dynamite goes off. So it's gonna
Bye.
be 5d6.
Oh my god.
19. So
Did I kill it?
Cuppy,
Did I kill
you're-
it? Tell me I killed it.
Cuppy, you are obliterated as this dynamite blows up. There's just bits and
Fuck you,
pieces of Dr. Baker going everywhere. But the thing is, Lady Pamela, it also gets you.
No.
Ooh.
So
Yeah, who's got body count? I've got
Is
body
it, is
count.
it reduced damage for her though?
it is. It's 4d6 because she's a little further away. It's still 13 points of damage.
Yeah,
that's
I'm
not gonna
I'm
be
dead,
great.
But I only have 8 HP.
So
Double kill.
so we're gonna pull the camera away, And so what we see is as this creature looks down, it nods at Dr. Baker. It turns its head, and Dr. Baker's head turns at the same time. They're moving in tandem. Their eyes are sort of beady black, looking at Lady Pamela, who's writhing on the floor covered in blue scarab beetles that are biting her face off. And then there's this almighty explosion, and we hear cracks in the walls, and we hear loud rumbles. And then all of a sudden, the entire tomb collapses in on itself. And silence. And that's where we're going to end our session for the day.
Wait.
Question.
Okay.
What happens
Yes.
to Sebastian?
Yeah, I was gonna say you just
Sebastian's
hear the
fine.
pitter patter of little
Yes,
corgi feet
so-
run off.
So we see the next morning, the sun comes up. We see a team of people digging around in this collapsed tomb, and then we see a tiny little furry nose nudging at the rocks and the tomb, and it just sort of sits and slumps.
With
And
Lady
then we-
Pamela's finger. Like,
And then we see this dig team covering it in with sand. They're filling in the tomb, and within hours, it's like this never happened. It's like there was nothing there to begin with. And Sebastian makes his home with the dig crew chief. He learns to bark in Egyptian, and he leads a long, happy life in a little Egyptian village. And no one ever knows what happened to the dig team out at this site. It's like they disappeared into the desert and they never existed.
R.I.P.
and our research was so shitty that it really was like we never existed.
Yeah, I
We
never
never-
was a person.
We never even got to use my handout.
Oh, shit.
That's very on
I'm
brand.
sorry.
Chuck's back.
I've been here. I was
Oh,
chatting
you
in
have?
the private chat. But
Oh,
nobody
sorry.
was responding to it.
I missed that, sir.
I have always wanted to die by dynamite. I'm quite pleased.
Chuck, we died. I don't know if you caught that part.
I didn't
Well-
catch that part, but I expected it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because the thing
I
is-
ended up getting killed by Cup, and then my dynamite killed them. So
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah,
But
like it
what's
does.
great is, Wes, is you were like, this dynamite needs to go off. And I'm just thinking, if it goes off, it's going to kill you anyway. It's 5-6.
I got it. I figured that was a thing, but you put me in hero mode, and it was like, all right,
true.
well,
Now
Yes.
I see why you wouldn't let me shove the dynamite in his mouth because it was about to go boom.
Uh-huh. You were so close to seeing it go off and then the gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
so
that was crazy. That was a lot of fun. It was very intense at times.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kat. Thank you, Kat, too, for playing. But thank you, Rena, for actually
Yes.
running the game this time.
Yeah, thanks.
Great
Rich.
job.
That
Yes.
was really good.
So good.
I love your
the
sanity
descriptions.
descriptions. Yeah.
So good.
oh yeah, they were terrifying.
There were moments where I was just grinning because I was like, this is so good.
Yeah, it's very chilling, right?
Mhm. I know
No, that-
for anybody who plans to run this in the future, because I know a couple of our listeners said that they're looking at running this scenario in the near future, I added a lot of stuff to this that you won't find in the scenario. I've run this a billion times, and I've used a lot of my knowledge of Egyptian mythology and things to build it up. So things like the tablet that drove Dr. Baker insane and nearly drove Dr. Jones insane. That's something that I added in there. Things like that. So if you'd like to chat with me, like on Discord or whatever, about the things that I added and how you can incorporate them into your own games, if you liked what happened in this game, please feel free. I'm more than happy to do that. I love this particular scenario. So if you want to add those things in, you can find me on the Discord, which Cup has put the link up for that. So please
Gotta
don't
use my
hesitate
banners.
to ask.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Very good. And Sebastian lived, Chuck. I'm sure that's why you came back to find
That's
out.
the most important thing. So.
Yeah, naturally.
Yes.
All right. Awesome game. And I think, Rena, you're going to run something else for us. Walter's Wish.
Yes, sometime in April, I'm going to be running a scenario called Walter's Final Wish, which is a fun little scenario that I'm looking forward to running. We haven't set a date for that yet, I don't think, but keep an eye out for that. We'll be running that in the next month
Is
or
that
so.
the Make-A-Wish
Sweet.
Foundation's RPG?
Maybe.
Chuck's face.
What? It's kind of funny.
We'll end on that note.
In child endangerment, it would be very on brand for this
Yeah.
podcast.
That's true. We need to bring Scott in for that one. Well, thank you everyone for watching. I know we had viewers on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. And if you chatted along, thanks for that. It's a lot of fun to throw up your random ass comments because they're much funnier than we are, or than I am, I should say. So thank you for that. Thank you, Rina. Thank you, Wes, Kat, and Chuck. We'll be back sometime to stream again, but it's not scheduled yet. But I think we're trying to do this more regularly, so we'll keep you posted on that. Of course, we're at patreon.com/AintSlayed. Get over there, be a deputy or better, and I'll be very happy with you. So that's everything. Thanks, everybody. Have a good day. Anyone have any parting thoughts? Wes, do you want to say something different as your last thing?
Yeah, that joke I made last doesn't count. That wasn't real. It didn't actually happen.
We
so
retconned it.
Like, it's all okay. It's fine. We're going to retcon that joke, and I'm going to be like, that sounds fun.
No, very good. All right. Thanks, everybody. This is the awkward moment when I don't know how to end the broadcast. So we will sit here and look until